As you begin your adventure, or at least continue on with the adventure, your team found yourselves in a tough situation. After finishing the ritual of, the Dark Heart, which Virizion did state, you needed the last bit of information within the book belonging to one of his colleagues, Grumph. Nice enough looking guy with a good enough amount of power in a matriarch society. And that's very impressive for someone that's male. He currently works in... Oh, wow. He currently works in their sorcery. The Magical School of Menzel Berenzin. Well, Magical Academy of Menzel Berenzin. And Virzian did state that he will make sure that his group that is currently inside covertly can get you inside, or at the very least can help you get inside. But you'll have to be dealing with, the stigmata of being outsiders and potentially just going to jail immediately if you break any of the rules. Well, jail being the easiest way of doing things. Likely not the first way they will do things. Instead of that, your team more or less asked if there's any way they could avoid most of the problems. And they did state that unless you have proper documentation, you would more or less be harassed wherever you went. Thinking on this, your team did remember that there are some paperwork here and there that could be used to deal with the situation at hand. With this information, Virizion did a wide search of the area to see if there was anything or anyone with this kind of paperwork. As well as the Shield Dwarves told you about a former party that came down here, which was the main reason why Elsdeath came down here to look for this party. Apparently, her older brother came down here and never returned. Henceforth, why she came down here months later and then was captured and all that situational thing happened. Finding him and finding some body parts here and there, you were able to discern that for months on months they were down here just losing their mind. Gothos fed him cheese and thought that would be the best way to solve things.
It
didn't really work out. Boom casted a force field on the man. He kept banging on the wall with its head, with their head, ultimately bleeding himself out in a destructive force. You all could tell that his mind was fractured and shattered. It would take a lot more than cheese to solve this, and the Shield Guardians asked kindly if you could put them out of their misery, as a warrior that has lost their mind and can't return from it is not a warrior, and they'd rather see their former a former captain, a former leader in their prime rather than be observed as, this. Accepting it, Gothos took on the charge of the bout, and Boom and Kobo took second center stage.
The price of a vandalized force wall is death.
And with enough mindset of his former self, the individual did agree to the fight. However, it wasn't 1-on-1, it was 1-on-3, because Boom and Kobo were also there. Boom immediately went invisible and began to attack. Kobo offhand distancing, helping out with everything he could, as well as helping with Gothos in aid. Eventually he was taken down, but without a few near casualties here and there. Thankfully enough, your team survived. The three-man squad survived. It would have been much harder if I didn't nerf him, but, he was meant for a 5 to 6 man party, not 3. So it's only fair.
Yeah.
That being said, though,
like Gothos says, "Let me do it alone." My player says, "Help me."
With taking him down, you managed to strip him of anything he had on his person, and you could also discern that he killed a lot of people in not the right mindset, so maybe it's better this way. Boom performed last rites alongside making a crypt for the deceased, and you did lose a few shield guardians, unfortunately. But,
we only lost one.
He'd been eating the
I revivified another one.
I wasn't done! But thankfully enough, Gothos was able to revive one of them. But one permanently died. There's like no going away from that one.
It's like totally in half. It's like I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think I can fix.
Taking a long distance walk to Menza Berenzin from that point in time, your team now arrives here, fully rested and recharged. Well, truthfully, you would need a rest, but I'm going to say long rest walk works. You ask the Shield Guardians to maybe not go into the very vicious city because, you know, their pride wouldn't allow them to see injustices go unpunished. So they decided to stick around in the background along with Vizrian, since, you know, they technically can't be inside the city. And that's where we left off. With a whole bunch of problems, an honorable bout to the death. A bout to the death. I don't know about honorable. And just outside the Spider City.
Well, we'll overlook the fact that Toulouse did not fight honorably.
Yeah. Says the invisible stabber.
Yeah. Verizian did state, like, not bringing everyone, but if you decided to bring everyone, just make sure you bring those that could stealth. Or those that wouldn't cause an issue. So, the robot and the band and the thieves and that one person that you really don't speak with, the fighter, decided we're all left out. So your main branching team is what you have with you right now. The rest are in the Tower of Vengeance. And Verizian does state after that, all right, then it does seem that you've all managed to do what was needed. That being said, the council members that I mentioned beforehand will look into things, and hopefully they can find you to get you into the sorcery. I pray that's not necessarily true. I do hope that you don't cause any commotion while in the city. If you have any questions about it, I can discern full instances of questioning and hopefully can give you the best answers dependent. I will tell you that they like look towards the shield dwarves. Do you mind like waiting over there in the tunnel system, getting like a nice little area safe for us until they return? Sure, why not? He looks towards the team. They both do. Thank you once again for helping out. Dealing with another honorable soldier. I'm ashamed to admit that we lost two of our proudest warriors during this time, but I'm glad they went down fighting with such honorable folks such as yourselves. And they begin to, you know, make camp for them. And
Yeah, we're great.
the rest, they don't know. They don't know you're monsters. Or the truth. Verizian
I feel
does.
like that's every NPC to every player character. They don't know you're a monster.
That's true. Or that you killed the niece of their leader.
That's not laid out on everybody.
The team is still a team. And they decided to lie. Verizian does state, wait, now that they're gone, there is a lot of problems inside the city and a lot of slavery. If someone does ask you for help, don't give it to them. If someone does plead for you to spare their lives, don't give it to them. If someone bumps into you, check your wallet, check your purse, and check your items and see if anything's gone missing. There are very stealthy people inside. Do be careful of anything. Be highly perceptive of everything. The sorcery is very magically inclined and has various amounts of, how should I say, security systems. Be very wary of what you do. And make sure you ask one of the people that will be meeting you inside about the password. I don't know what the current one is, to help disengage the security for an hour. Afterwards, well, the password changes, and I can't exactly guarantee that you would know the next password. Now then, any questions from the lot of you?
Oh, maybe I should have said,
Oh, and I also did mention that if you do and are caught deceptively deceiving and are not part of the city itself, you will likely put into trial, thrown out, or executed, depending on how severe things are.
Well, here's my question for you then. Based on this paperwork that we have so honorably obtained, just giving us a look over, do you see anything obvious about us, equipment-wise, or how we carry ourselves that would be inconsistent with what's on this paperwork?
Looking at the paperwork, you can tell it's written in Undercommon. If you have it, you can easily discern what it says. But I'll
I
just...
do have that.
Yeah, I'll just
The first time a language thing came up where I've got it.
Fair enough. Looking on it, you can easily discern that it doesn't read like this person here and here are the people that go inside. It's more on the lines of by the decree of the current ruler of the city that they came from, these individuals have made claim and have right to enter inside the city itself to visit the matriarch in order to make sure that things and proper negotiations are in turn and cleared up. They do not have clearance beyond these measurements, but are clear to proceed however they deem necessary. Basically, it just means you have clearance to go inside and do what you need to do. It's just you can't, break the law, steal something from someone. It's more like, don't bother these people as long as they're not making any trouble.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
no
trying
obvious
to-
restriction on weaponry or anything then.
No.
I'm not
Except
trying
that
to
it's
be
not
mean,
okay
but,
stabbing people.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
put
trying
in...
to be mean, but do we have to redress Gothos?
Rizian,
No, I mean,
would
I
state, not necessarily, and at that point in time, you as well, Kobo, and Antidote, and
Well, no, I was just
'cause I'm
especially
religious,
Brat,
so-
would...
Yeah, I was just looking over the rules, and no god or goddesses other than Lolth. Gothos is a paladin, and he's got a holy symbol proudly displayed.
However, that holy
Gothos-
symbol is a coin, one of many. So, Holy
so
symbol
long as it's
currency?
not highly visible, it should be fine.
as
you
long
put
as
it
none of
under
these
the tabard.
As long as none of these drow know that the coin is a holy symbol for your god.
He should
Yeah, don't make it your
potentially
belt
wear a
buckle.
cloak.
Yeah, I got a cloak.
Yep.
I got one of those Templar-looking things, a tabard, which is, the cloth that they wear over the armor, and that's not religiously affiliated in any way.
Then you should be
Decoration.
fine.
That works. Yeah, that works. I didn't know that. I just
Yes.
thought you were prominent.
It's a tabard of many themes. It's got like a hammer on it, like a spade.
And he went through this list beforehand, but I put it in Discord anyways. The Berenzin principal law in the way of Lolth. So you know that information. It's not as if you don't.
Is my clothing not up to dress code?
That is not what I implied. Although you are more angelic than the average half-orc or
Yeah,
full
you might
orc,
wanna
I don't
add
really know what
wings.
you technically are. There is a lot of slavery within the kingdom, and orcs specifically are used for farming. So do keep up a chin when you see that.
Yeah. As I am fumbling with this this chainmail that I'm wearing, not chainmail. What was it again? Because I am actually wearing a cloth of lottle, and I have been doing that this entire time.
Yes. Well, I suppose I should speak about this once again. No
So, yeah.
visible worshipping of other gods or goddesses other than Lolth. If you are caught in trouble within the parameters of the city, If you're caught, in trouble and expelled from the city. If you're caught again, well, then basically just death. Slaves have no rights, so don't try to help them to be the honorable individuals as you see fit. You surface worlders will likely potentially get into trouble depending on your own moralities. I don't really know. Although it seems for the most lot of you, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Looks set to
as
loose.
not.
The most of you.
So, should I not be wearing this in town, or can I just leave it on?
Wear a coat or a cloak. Something that covers it.
Because it is a gown of Lawton. Or old, or however you say it.
Both.
As long
So
as you
it's
don't
it's fire,
name
yeah.
another god, you should be fine. Loth herself would obviously have eyes and ears throughout the city. So, if you are a practitioner or pretending to be one, don't get caught. If you can't,
Okay.
if you cannot persuade someone or deceive someone well, I would suggest not to use it. But it's entirely up to you. I'm not telling you what to do, other than the fact that I need the grimoire, find it in the sorcery. I've already explained what you probably shouldn't do, but I am not going to tell you what to do, as you are your own person, and I have the other half of your party that I could send out if you all die.
I sense a lot of faith in our abilities here. As he is gonna take off the... I call it a fucking t-shirt, but that's not the correct name for it.
Well, this is all
to be
going
fair,
on.
for him it would be a t-shirt.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Boom, you're saying?
While this is all going on, are we anywhere close enough where we can actually start seeing typical drow?
Looking over the horizon line where he will show you, he points towards the gate, the chamber, the gate, system. And you do see the typical drow here and there. You do see people going in and out of the gate from time to time, but not heavily. But you do see station guards there immediately, without even having to make a perception check. You can tell that they do have garbed attire of very elegant clothing here and there. Some have more or less akin to adventuring gear, but most of them, do have the emblem of Loth. If not the emblem, then like pattern weaved clothing that looks like a web.
All right. The reason I ask is because I'm thinking about using my shift weave cloak to go ahead and pull off a style that's compatible with what people seem to be liking to wear around here, and if any sort of markings of Loth are considered trendy or appealing or socially acceptable.
Yeah, it's either silken garments or darkened leather, or a combination of both, dependent. You do and can tell that there are some emblems and symbols on each of them, but that could represent the house they belong to, or maybe the station they're currently in.
Yeah, I'll avoid stuff like that, at least for now. I'm just looking for stuff that would be generally considered socially acceptable. And if there are people wearing dark leather, then I'll probably go for my frickin' stealth attire underneath with my shift weave clothes. If I said shift weave cloak, I meant to say cloak of many fashions, but anyway.
The biggest populace, not biggest populace, the biggest amount of style that you see that is worn repetitively through a good amount of the people that you see are darkened tanned leathers with a weave pattern of web all over the pattern.
All right, so that's probably kind of what I'll go with the cloak then. Another thing is, if I recall, Slash has white hair, correct?
Yeah.
In fact, and actually, so does Vizoran. I'm going to ask is, okay, have I seen enough drow to know whether that's considered typical?
Yeah, like some people wear helmets and things of that nature, but typically it is like silver or white locked hair.
Okay.
Imagine a negative picture of a standard elf, and that's what the typical drow looks like. Black skin, white hair versus...
Typically red or amber eyes.
Yeah.
There are sometimes a difference, but those children are like you ask slash this or Verizian, and they state there are sometimes drow that come out with different colored hair or eyes, and they're generally thrown out into the wilds to die, presumably.
Except for Drist Oregon.
All right. Yeah, just debating on if I want to do any sort of quote-unquote enhancements to my look, but I think I'll probably leave that part out.
Up to you. You can give frosted tips.
Well, I can't
those-
actually prestidigitate that for myself, so that should be a small area.
Gothos is
But,
going to not ride the spider into town, but he will lower the parasol on Tannhauser so it obscures her saddle.
In Menzo Baranzan, Spider rides you.
No.
The spiders have more rights than you do. I'll say that.
Yeah, specifically, if Gothos was writing... Well, Verizian is going to state this. I would also suggest not riding your kindred spirit with you, Sir Gothos. Although I'm sure your spider mount is not unenthusiastic of you being on top. If a goblin is seen above a spider, it could be problematic for you.
Yeah, no, I figured that.
Don't
Thanks.
they have some sort of spider riders?
Yes, but
No,
they're
they
not
have people.
goblins.
Ah,
And again, the spiders have more rights than any drow.
and just to remind me here, were we just gonna try and walk in the front door? Did we have a better plan than that?
Verizian does state, I did suggest a few things here and there, but you did murder the man to get the paperwork, so I feel like that'd be weird if you didn't. But I'll leave it up
Was
to
the
you.
plan. Yeah.
Echo, I've got a question for you. So apparently the skies over Menzo Baranzan are pretty unfriendly. Do you actually feel daring enough to ride along, or would you like to be poofed out for the time being?
I can go whatever, boss. I can go up in the sky, or I can just sit next to you. Either's good for me. Either way, I'm ethereal. Just mentally aware now, thanks to the awaken spell.
True enough, but even if it just takes 10 gold worth of incense and charcoal or whatever it is, I'd rather you not getting bitten too many times. Actually, that's a good question. Does it hurt if you get attacked?
If I survive, yes. Surprisingly enough, if I just get so much damage that I poof away, no.
Alrighty.
Yes, life is pain.
That's
you-
all too true.
your
Good
mount
to know
agrees,
about
Gothos.
familiars.
She's poofed so many times.
Good to know about.
Actually, like twice. Come on.
It's been more than
Well,
twice.
Then I'll ask this question a different way. So,
least
Echo,
3
do you
times.
actually want to see the scenery here? See what Menzo Baranzan looks like?
Not really, no, not really.
Alright, in that case, we'll go ahead and aim for safety. If anything pops up, I can always bring you back, and you can tell me what an idiot I was for summoning you in for some no good reason.
All right, fair enough.
Get eaten by 5-foot spiders.
And again, you can have Echo like on your shoulder. It's just if they fly in the sky for too long, they could be attacked by spiders. Like as long as Echo's not flying randomly for so long, they should be fine. If you don't want to unsummon them.
Yeah. Well, how about this? When I once I've gotten to see how unusual it is for animals to be riding along with somebody, we'll make a determination then.
Fair enough.
Don't want to run into the Ozzy Osbourne of Drow while we're out here.
True enough, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. Like,
All right, in that case, Echo, see you in a bit. Poof.
they poof away. Verizian does state, oh, that does remind me. Once again, Gothos.
Yeah.
Your mound is a spider. Although massive in scale, it's still a spider. If they stick around too long in the cumulative area where the ruler of said spiders houses a good amount of power there, you may not be in full control of your mound. And be aware of it. Just for an FYI.
Yeah, it's a good tip. Me and Tannhauser got a pretty good mind link, though, so if it starts acting screwy, I'll just,
Can you poof him away like a familiar or no?
yeah, I can unsummon them.
Yeah, I think it's just not a greater steed spell, but a fine steed
Lesser.
spell.
Yeah, fine steed. Oh, you know, as a denizen of technically the astral plane, it might help a little bit. Even not a real technical physical spider.
It'll take longer, sure, but it'll eventually creep in.
Yeah.
And you might not
No, you
notice.
said we had like an hour anyway.
Oh yeah, and if we're still in the Q&A session, I got another question. Is it actually okay for one drow house to attack another?
If
Only
there
if they win.
is necessity for it, but not for unjustifiable reasons.
Well, the only reason I ask is apparently the rules seem to say that 2 or more houses attacking one, the ones that participated in the attack are like nuked or something. So I was just kind of wondering why it was 2 or more and not any house that conspires to attack another.
Because they're allowed to do it if they win. Lolth is, I don't know how much you guys know about Lolth, but yeah, she likes to see her people fight.
The main reason why it's 2 or more is someone trying to accumulate power within the scope of the families, and them going off the assumption that their way is best in destroying another in that regard. If that can
So
be
clearly
proven,
this... Oh, go ahead.
if that could be proven, then they are immediately annihilated, as they do not follow the tenets of Lolth, rather they follow their own.
So the solution is clear then. We get 2 houses to attack another one. Since it can be proven that that happened, then everybody goes and destroys those 2 houses. Then we go ahead and prove that all those other ones attack these 2 houses, and then they have to go ahead and fight each other to destroy all of Benzo Branson. It's a flawless plan.
That's not how that would work, but I'll let you do what you do. Either way, I get rid of this city.
Yeah, I think that's more of an after we get the after we stop the ritual sort of a thing.
All right, everybody against my idea, raise their hands.
All
right,
The
it's
hands
Slash,
unanimous.
Hands
like
raised.
Slash raises her hand, mainly because she
Yeah.
doesn't want to
Hands
see
raised,
so many
yeah.
people die. She looks so more or less
Yeah.
speaks up.
That plan sort of sounds like it takes weeks of espionage and learning about the different houses and getting the trust and talking to people. And we don't really have that kind of time.
Yeah, don't worry, Slash. It was just a joke anyway.
I'm not sure that that's true.
I can assure you. Actually, does anybody have the ability to zone a truth?
Save our spells right before we infiltrate.
I think Nom Nom does, but he's not going to waste his spell. He just looks towards you and goes, "Nah, he's telling the truth." Fair enough, I
Alright,
guess.
I'll take it.
Virgin then states, "All right then. Well, other than potential assassination of an entire city, anything else?" Oh, that does remind me. As mentioned beforehand, they do use slavery and labor of that sort. You'll find a good amount of goblins, bugbears, indentured servitude of the drow as well, humans, other drow in turn as well, depending on how low they fall in. You'll also encounter a good amount of druidas, which are half elven, half spider creatures, if you've never seen one. Some of you have seen them and almost died by one of them.
They're gross.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. You also likely encounter some mad drow here and there, as quite some time ago, one of the summoned demon lords did attack the city itself. He points towards a few areas here and there that are scattered and broken currently still. Thankfully for them.
Oh, like that Quilarzerol or whatever, where they had to stitch the name together with apostrophes.
You point at the map and he does state, I know, and that's just how they spell the name.
Or how about up there where sorcerer is, but the R is missing?
No, that's just a fancy way of saying that. I mean, like the shattered buildings and things of that nature.
Well, all jokes aside, since it took us a while to get here, just to refresh our memory, do we have any information on, or what information do we have on meeting our contact?
You are to scurry about the city and hopefully they find you in time today. You are not exactly, blending in quite well within the city, so they should be easily enough spotting you. The main situation, though, is not getting into trouble while you wait.
Do they know to be looking for us specifically? I imagine we wouldn't be the only kinds of people who stick out. I mean, surely the dwarves did. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you Shirley.
No,
But
yeah,
alright.
he told them about us.
Yes, I did mention them to you. Did mention you to them. Thank you, Gothos. And I did mention of a password, and I've already told you the password. I'm not going to tell you again because you forgot, but I'm going to tell you again because you forgot. He doesn't really say that. He did mention a password, but he wouldn't tell you until you got to the city. You're now at the city. The simple way of doing things down here would be talking and communicating with one another.
Speak unto us the word of passing.
Sure. At any rate,
Sorry, say that
you would
again?
use in the common tongue, darkness take you. It is a drow saying, but obviously we would be using your language rather than the undercommon one.
Well, I can speak undercommon, but I thought last time you said that the people we were looking for were like the spider or something.
The spider council, correct.
All right, well, if they know what we look, or if they already know the group composition, then I guess we probably wouldn't realistically need to bear any sort of special markings for them to figure this stuff out. So,
No.
Now
But
we got the password, we got the papers. That's boogie.
all right, so
The
let's
sweating
see.
isn't
Let's make
gonna
sure
ruin
we've
it,
got
but-
our lock picks, spray paints, crowbars.
my
Billy
apologies.
Club.
I did mean to include the rest of this. They would state trust no one in the uncommon tongue, which would be Kales Noir Us. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm just going to say trust no one when they speak to you. When you say the phrase, they will say this back. If they don't say this back, it's probably not them.
All right.
Right. After they find you and encounter you, they'll likely take you back to their hideout, and then afterwards you can discuss things from there. They will, of course, bring you to the sorcery, and you will acquire the grimoire from there. They will not be assisting you, they'll just get you inside the doorway.
So they'll be assisting us.
In getting inside, of course, but...
Exactly.
Yes, well, afterwards they cannot assist you, as if they are found with potential... they would state it in a far harsher words, but I'm going to say rabble. They could be, forfeiting their lives, and they're not about to die for strangers.
Especially ones as strange as us.
Which gate are we going in?
You're going through the west wall gate, so it shouldn't be too problematic to find things that you might need to, such as provisionary housing and the like. Just make sure you don't cause trouble. Once you enter inside, I cannot assist you as I am, well, not there, and also not allowed to be there, so don't die.
Great
No
advice.
promises.
Generally worried about that, but very well.
Let's go.
All right.
Can has to lead the way.
Okay. Okay.
But I would have walked behind Tannhauser, but yeah.
Sure. What would be a good party token?
Colorful hat. Streamers.
No, I'm just trying to figure something out. I'm just gonna do this because it makes
Watch
so much more sense.
Eldeth.
Nah, I'm just gonna make a party token. But soon enough, your team does get to the west wall entrance without too much of an issue, unless you make one. Standing before you are a few people before you in front of the line, roughly around 4. One of them is currently talking with the 2 guards that are stationed by the gateway. 3 of them are in front of you, and 5 of them are behind you within the line. One of them in front of you does look towards your team, and they are a rather tall individual, as most. I was about to say Sylvan are, as most Drow are. Looking towards you, he does state, evening all. Oh, strangers. Well, welcome to Menza Berenzen. Is there anything I can help you with? We're all coming in here, trying to make refuge while being in the Underdark.
Wait, who said that last part?
A drow that is in front of the line that you're currently in, waiting to get inside the city.
Oh, okay. So we're listening in on something else.
No, they're
I was
talking to you.
He's talking to us, but I was like, this guard is way too nice.
It's not a guard, it's a
Oh.
random person you met in line.
Insight
Oh.
check.
Yeah, go ahead and roll insight check if you want.
I trust him.
Sure is a random guy.
Just seems like a nice guy.
Just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we all have business in the city.
Okay. This very crude token is party token.
All right. Before we actually get dealt with, I'm gonna ask, who's got the
His
most
party.
silvery tongue in this group?
Me or Kovo.
Theoretically, it's me, but I highly doubt that's actually the case.
All right, Gothos, you are officially the party spokesman.
Sounds good. I'll give him nothing. I'll get everything.
And never mind. I was about to make a joke. It's probably not a good one to make in the line.
Yeah. Who has a passive of 22?
A pass of like
Perception?
half that.
Perception,
Okay,
yes.
2/3 that.
Unfortunately, to
Yeah,
lose.
mine's only
No.
20.
Yeah. What about
Only
Brat?
20.
I only have a 15.
Wow, even Pico wouldn't have made this one.
Well, the guy just looks
Because-
towards you. You see that the person that went through the gate goes through the gate. Second guy goes in, so there's only 2 in front of you. After this, the guy looks towards you when he mentioned this and goes, "No, well, all right then. Go look inside." Then like turns back towards the gate entrance.
For
After
the next one, I'm gonna try and listen
I
in.
think we were supposed to talk to him.
Maybe.
I forgot what he said.
He greeted us very cheerily.
He said howdy.
Yeah,
It
but he
was
You
There's a
more or
guy
less ignored
standing
him,
in
and then he
line.
stood back in line properly. The next guard looks towards the next person, and as you listen in, which is not that difficult to do, the guard does look towards the individual drow that's coming in, and he does say it. Paperwork, house, and reason. Ah, yes, quite right. I come from the house of, gonna butcher this name. Fleon Triblaw. Expedition mission. Coming back to report. Paperwork, documents. He hands over the paperwork and documents. All right, then. Seems here that you are missing 2 party members and your 5 slaves. Yes, unfortunately, they did lose their lives out there, but thankfully enough, I myself prevailed. And you do see that the other guard is looking towards him. And I want... No, your passives would work in this case because it's pretty low, because you guys can tell. Those with 15 and above, which would be Bract and Realta, you both can tell that the second guard that is not speaking is casting an additional spell while this other man is communicating with him. It's not fully aware since you didn't feel the presence of it, since it's always being cast. But you can tell that it's being cast because of their eye glowing color. Based on the color and duration of this, you can tell that this guard is subtle casting, which means he doesn't have to say anything. Or use his hands to gesture that he's casting a spell. But by the way the guard's looking towards him and the other guard nods, it does seem, based off of these patterns, they are casting a... I'm actually going to make you roll for it. Rauta and...
Okay.
Would I notice too because I also can subtle cast?
if you have the
passive.
passive of 15 and above, sure.
Oh no, I don't
Well,
have the passive perception. Like mine's 13, but I
okay.
actually am a sorcerer with the ability to subtle cast.
If Toulouse, he, or Bract tell you guys, then yeah, you can roll insight.
I am not noticing anything because I do not understand what the fuck he's doing anyways. It just looks like he's doing a silly thing.
Why is this dark-skinned man waggling his fingers?
Maybe
Yeah, that is probably the comment that Bragg is making.
You do have the ability to detect magic, so one would assume you know what it is when somebody else is using it.
You forget who
Seem a
Brack
bit
is.
distrusting of it.
You forget who Bract is.
But you forget that I don't do magic.
As he often tells
I
you.
know, but you're distrustful of it and automatically aware of it, so I figured that would.
Anyways, Toulouse,
Anyways.
do you tell the group?
Yeah,
what do I roll to see what he's casting?
You would just roll insight, but do you tell the group so they can roll as well?
Yeah. I'll say.
I will state though, if you do tell them, people around you might listen in.
Oh,
Fair point.
Well, while I'm
Alright.
distracted with that, I'm going to suddenly realize, what do we know about the dwarves that we went hunting for? Like, what house were they associated with, and what were they out to do?
They were here on diplomatic reasons. They didn't
There's
belong
one
to a house.
Okay.
You didn't really get the full scope of them, but you could also discern that they came down here for diplomatic reasons, maybe to establish trade routes or to establish themselves as truly and honorably the individuals that lead that city now and potentially forevermore. 18. 18's pretty good.
Did we read the paperwork we got so we know our backstory?
It's general paperwork stating that by the decree of the current ruler, you have been granted access to Menzo Borenzen on the behest of political matters.
So we're definitely foreigners. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It basically states as long as you guys don't cause any commotion, trouble, or break the law, you are more or less allowed to move freely.
we were sent from above to finish their mission.
18. 18's pretty good. By the way they're subtle casting it and the way they look towards the words of the person, you can tell that this is the equivalent of a truth spell. Always on, keeping people at watch, and when questioned, reading into the words magically as well. Basically, it's a zone of truth, but without the necessary scope of an area. Rather, they can ping it on someone, and they would get the truth or not. So as long as you guys don't lie, you should be good to go.
Yeah, I got it.
And
Yeah.
I will whisper that to the group.
Yeah, go ahead and roll sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand. Okay. What the?
You just
What just
stage
happened?
whisper, because you kind of forget that everyone's more or less being quiet, like getting ready to enter inside. You stage whisper, which is basically just talking. Truth spell! But you don't shout it out loud, you just say it calmly. But people do turn around looking towards you. But then, mind their own business. One of them in Undercommon does state, "Oh, of course, foreigners." Ugh. And then, press on to their own thing.
Say wow, magic. Man.
The guards allow the person in since they see no flaw with their thing, and the next person goes in. So it's one guy before you. They ask a few questions here and there. They give the documents, and that guy's goes through. The guy who was friendly towards you goes next, and he does state towards them, "Evening, fellas." "Evening. Maybe. At any rate. Documents, house, and reason." "All right, then. Here are my documents. I belong to the house of Do Odin. Friendly visit?" Looks towards the other guard.
This guy.
The guard
Does he have
looks
purple
toward.
eyes?
What?
Does this cheery fella have purple eyes?
You don't know. You didn't pay enough attention to look at him.
Oh boy.
Looks towards him and he goes, looks towards the guard. The guard nods and he does go back towards the man. "Right. These paperwork does seem to be in order, although it's a little out of date. Do you mind if one of the guards accompanies you to the house?" "No, not at all. I suppose it could be enjoyable. Would love the company." "Right." They call another guard, and that person is taken in to visit their house, potentially, or they might be killed off in a hallway or streetway, something of that line. Who's to say?
Is
At any rate,
Cherry Drow armed in any way?
yeah, they carry two swords to their right and left side. They have not a white cloak, but a dark cloak behind them with a hood, but currently not up. They walk away and are now in the city, being accompanied by a guard. So it's now you guys. The guard that's currently stationed there and the truth casting guard do look towards your group. "Right, foreigners. If you don't have any documents, please be advised of the potential risk factors you place going inside the city. Now then, documents, house affiliation, reason for arrival."
Do I have the documents? Who has the documents?
One of you has it. I don't know who.
I guess since I was curious about the documents before, I'll hand those over to Gothos.
I'm gonna take them imperiously, without looking, hand them to the dark elf so that we can read over them and say, "We have business with your superiors. Also, we're with this spider," and I'll just kind of have Tannhauser walk through.
Yeah, Tannhauser isn't blocked. They moved to the left side so Tannhauser can get inside. They weren't even questioned.
Have her kind of hiss at the guy who's doing the spell.
Yeah. The guy that's doing the spell just nods towards Tannhauser, and Tannhauser just walks through like it was nothing. The guard that took the documents and is looking them over. "That's strange. This is written like a dwarf would write it. None of you are dwarves. This yours?
Most definitely. It was acquired and
part of a
controlled
large-
by dwarves indeed, but we are fully, we have their full, what's the word I'm looking for? Sanction?
We were sent as emissaries by the Dwarven King.
The
We were
drow
accompanied
does
by a
look towards
princess
you,
of the dwarves, but alas,
Kobo.
you know the Underdark.
Yeah. You explain this, and the drow does look towards Kobo. I asked your leader, not his subordinate. But thank you for your kind consideration.
I slowly step behind Gothos and grab his cloak and pull it around my face.
Smack! Don't touch me, I'll make it dirty.
Do you allow this, or do you actually, like, say that?
I'll probably do that, because I'm trying to...
I'll step
Like-
over and usher Kobo away. Apologies, sir. Apologies. And I'll kind of, like, I'll stick my cloak in Kobo's face and just sort of pull him off to the side.
Right. And that wasn't a lie, so when he looks towards his partner, he does not. Right then. Don't cause any commotion. Rolls it up and hands it back to you. Don't cause anything's out of place. And welcome inside for as long as you intend to be here. Like, gives a, like, death glare at Kobo and Boom because, you know, they talked and moved without their superior giving the word, but, you know, they don't do anything since you haven't broken a law. It's just a faux pas. They
Indeed.
allow you through as they move to the left and right, flanking you, but, you know, not going to attack you. You assume.
Best not to keep the spider waiting. Follow Tannhauser.
Yeah. You enter inside, and you did it with barely surviving.
I might have gotten in trouble, but I didn't lie.
Yeah.
I got us through.
Yeah, well,
Entering-
another couple of words like that, and you would have had a serious beating that we probably couldn't stop.
Antidote does state, honestly, you did quite well. The lot of you, but as suggested, we should probably not... Well, I suppose we can need to be careful. If there is a leader in the group, I suggest, you know, making it visible, and if not, well, then making sure that everyone's in the same standing. More than likely with people of note, we should probably, you know, make someone this spokesperson, but other than that, we should be fine, as long as we're in the city. Major? According
if Slash is a dark elf, we probably should make her the leader. But
Slash
I'm
does
better at
state...
talking.
No. She does have, like, her hood up and, like, everything garbed up. She doesn't have, like, a symbol of Lolth anywhere on her. She's just, like, fully covered from head to toe. You can tell that they were looking at Slash but didn't say anything. And you remember she was more or less ostracized from her family. So it probably wouldn't be the best thing
No.
Yeah, but they don't.
to make it the leader. And she's told you this before. Antidote does state, right then, according to the map that they gave us, where would we likely be able to find someone that is looking for us?
They didn't say, but our eventual destination is the sorcery, right? So we might as well make our way to the bazaar.
That would make sense.
After that.
And at any rate, we need to find a place to sleep, potentially.
Although, I do kind of want to see if that drow is going to kick the crap out of those other two drow, or just actually go to House Doran. You want to take the slightly longer way past House Doran to the bazaar?
Antidote looks towards the team. I don't know why you think that they would do that, but I don't know. I suppose we could look to see.
I don't know how much you know about cities or how you've been in them, but when somebody says, let me escort you there, and you're not very rich, usually a bad sign.
But why do you think that one random guy in the line could beat them up?
He seemed like, well, he's from here. He knows that, and he wasn't very concerned.
That is very weird thinking, but I suppose that could be true.
Look, it's on the
Have we-
way.
Have we decided on a leader?
Slash does state, so long as we're not speaking to nobility or anything of that nature, we don't really need one. But I suppose we could, like, make one if we do come across someone.
In that case, we should be prepared for that just in case.
Well, Gothos got us into the gate fine.
All right. So what I'm gonna do. So what I'm going to do then is I go ahead and pull my cloak tighter up against me. Go ahead and change my shift weave clothes to the formal attire. Should be like kind of a black tux sort of thing.
Right?
Well, no, the shift weave clothes under the cloak are what I'm changing. The cloak's staying the same right now.
You fancy boy.
Yeah. Anyway, so changing to formal wear to try to pull off sort of the butler / attendant look. And then I'll go ahead and basically take up a position next to Gothos and slightly to the rear. And I'll just go ahead and hold that formation wherever he goes.
Yeah. All right. More or less making Gothos the more imposing one. If you ever do come across nobility, they'll likely speak with Gothos first. Or, leaders. But as Slash suggested, as long as you're not dealing with them, you should be fine. For some reason, Gothos wants to go to see how that one random drow is doing. Who knows why, but I guess you could do that. You do have a map, so you do know where that house is. You also know where the bazaar is. So you can definitely swing around to that direction. You just don't know if you'll catch them. At your current speed, at the very least.
So let's give it a go, right?
You do know that they're going to this house, and you were more or less heading towards the bazaar. But at your
Okay,
current
we're
speed...
just-
Go ahead.
I think we're just gonna make our way, we're just gonna pass by it, right?
Yeah, but at your current speed, you're not sure if you'll catch up really quickly, or, as long as they don't get caught up in anything, you may not see them. So, do you guys run? Walk?
I don't
Jog?
think we run. Just
Running
walk.
sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah. I think just walking
We could
normally.
fast-paced walk.
Yeah.
Walk as fast as 10 hours.
Okay. I will be taking the
Sorry.
median, but everyone go ahead and roll deception to, not stand out.
Yeah, just trying to keep up with the spider. Oh God, if he gets away, we're in so much trouble. Let's find out with deception.
Yeah, I don't see this one going well.
Again, I'm taking the median. But if everyone rolls...
Oh, like I said, this isn't
Not great.
gonna go well.
I mean, yes, Gothos, you did well, but it's the group that you have to
We're
worry
just
about.
walking by it. We just took the long way around. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but someone might notice you fast walking inside the city and might stop you. A patrolman might do the same thing. Or someone might
God, we've
notice
got to
you.
keep up with the spider, man. Do you have any idea how much trouble we'll be if it gets ahead of us?
Brack, are you able to roll?
Sorry. Deception, right? Ha! Even I beat Kobo.
Yeah, you're more or less trying not to stand out. Let's see
Oh,
here.
wait. Don't I have something for this? Me and my stupid rocks. I apologize.
It's all good.
You're totally not.
I
magical, man.
have advantage on deception checks. Me and my stupid rocks.
You've got a 25% chance to beat it, and you do not.
16 is good. 16 is good.
Unfortunately, the median here is 12.4. I'll round it up to 13,
Kidding?
but it's not enough.
Well, Toulouse's roll isn't. Oh, it is there. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, I rolled shit.
2.
Yeah.
Even
Alright,
with
well-
the 23, we're only 12.4.
How about
La-
Tannhauser's roll and Slash?
Can Tannhauser roll?
and the rest
Echo.
of the group. So
Yeah.
23 plus 13 plus 12 plus 8 equals 60, 56 divided by number.
5.
1, 2,
5.
3, 4, 5. Good morning. Yeah, that is 11.2.
Oh,
Did you miss
I guess
some?
it's even
Did you
worse.
miss yourself? 39, 51, 64, 72 by 5.
What? 74?
What kind of math are you
8.
guys doing?
Plus 13 plus 12 plus 23
33,
plus 16
46.
equals 72. Yes. Apparently, I forgot my own freaking deception tag.
Yeah.
It's
So if he-
14.4.
4.4.
There's a 14? No.
Oh, what
okay,
did-
lay it on us.
What did I miss then?
Toulouse's.
Probably.
No, I
Toulouse's.
got Toulouse's. That is so weird.
the 13 of the
Maybe you
show.
picked my 8 instead of my 16.
Maybe.
Possible.
Maybe.
Either way, it wasn't the 15 I was looking for.
Oh, so close.
Slackers.
I only rounded up for the last time because it was pretty bad. And with 14.4, I'm rounding down.
Yeah, that's fair. We only needed 0.1 more.
Yeah. That being the case, though, it's not as if you're in trouble. There are patrolmen wandering in the streets here and there. In fact, you do see what appears to be a Drow elite warrior heading towards you. They carry a symbol in Undercommon that reads Bragan Dirgarth's Mercenaries, a emblem. They come over towards you, and you can tell that in the area you're currently in, it's a lot of high-polished nobleman individuals around, but currently you're like in a more or less farming area. These individuals head towards you, and like 2 of them stop before they get to you, and 1 of them heads towards you, likely the leader. This more or less garish-looking man with that symbol comes over towards you and goes, evening. Outsiders. Where exactly are you going this time of day? Any reason why you're hurrying along?
Well, because the spider's ahead of us, and that's kind of our escort. It's generally a bad idea to make them wait for anything.
They begin to cast a spell, and those of you that are druidic-based or nature-based can determine that they are speak with animals. They look towards Tannhauser, and they... I'm going to say, Gonthos, you understand this because you have a communal connection with Tannhauser. Even though you wouldn't understand the spell, this does make sense because they're speaking to Tannhauser. They do state towards Tannhauser. Is all of this true? You're the leader of this pack, or are they just lying? And Tannhauser, she does state. I'm gonna ask you, Gothos, how good of a liar do you believe Tannhauser is? So far, they've been noble, honest, self-sacrificing.
Just stay there with me. That's true, right?
Yeah. Fair enough. It's not really answering the question, but that's good enough. Tannhauser does more or less state. Forgetting how they speak, but I'm just gonna go with it. There with me, sir? It's not at all how it was. And the man goes, I'm gonna have them roll insight and having Tannhauser roll persuasion.
Great.
Can I
I'm sure that
inspiration
my level
Tannhauser?
3 spiders can
You
be
have
great
no
at
idea what the
persuasion.
conversation is. You can still do
Well, I
it,
know
but
they're
it's
talking-
very weird.
I know they're talking talking to the spider, and I don't know how good the spider is at lying.
It's not lying.
It's not lying. It's more like bending the
It
truth.
doesn't matter.
I know, but
Look,
that's
the
Again,
full
yes.
truth.
I'm allowing it. It's just very weird.
Whatever.
Well, the
Truthful lying.
It's not going to give. a
Well, the
shit.
problem too is Tannhauser's not getting a roll because they just said a normal, truthful thing. It's just the
Like,
insight
Tannhauser-
check, right?
No,
Unless you wanna-
Tannhauser does get to roll.
Yeah,
I
Townhouser's
rolled.
rolling a
They have a
deception.
-4.
No, it is
Oh, is there one?
persuasion. It's more like
Persuasion.
persuading
Oh.
them not to look into it any further. Like, they did tell the truth,
yeah.
but they're rolling insight to see like if there's anything underneath that truth. Unfortunately, that's pretty low. And even with
Yeah.
Bardic, unless you roll, what's the Bardic dice now? D8?
D6. It's a
I don't
D6,
think I'm going to beat
say.
19.
I don't think you're gonna beat it.
I don't think I can get 12.
Roll to see how bad this is, because if you get high enough, you know, they may not press things any further. They just know that you're lying. Or
So what am I
not telling the
rolling?
full truth. Your Bardic dice, so a D6.
Okay. Roll 1d6.
Okay, that's not
12.
bad. That's a 12 versus a 7. That's better than a 7.
Yeah, it's nearly twice. 7.
The man does look towards the spider and all of you, and they do state, right. Well, I don't really know what you're doing here, but this spider, although magnificent as it is clearly not your leader. And by the look of all of you, it does seem like you're foreigners. I would suggest not to stand out, especially here. We're in a more restricted area. I'm not going to arrest you, of course. That would be too much paperwork. And honestly, we're just doing this to accept better payment from the noblemen that are paying for better security. So I'm warning you now. Don't make a fuss, and you shouldn't have an issue. And the next time you lie about your spider friends, be more truthful about it. Otherwise, if you were speaking with a normal guard, you'd probably be arrested by now.
But speaking with the normal guard, sir, the spider would have eaten his face.
I don't think so. This one's far too tamed and honorable.
Tannhauser, bite somebody's face off. No?
Looks up at you.
No.
Unfortunately, sir,
No.
that's not part of my regiment training.
Oh, it fully is.
I could perhaps cocoon them.
I make a joke, Tannhauser, but don't take shit from any of these dark elves. They're literally religiously banned from harming you in any way.
I will try not to let this get into my head, but I will still strictly stick in line to my training, sir. Unfortunately, they're very well trained, very well mannered.
Yeah.
But who knows
Yeah,
about
you're an
the
excellent
corruption
soldier,
that may happen. This elite guard does look towards you. Right then. Well, at any rate, probably don't run in the city, especially if you're outsiders. From the looks of you, half your team could be enslaved by breaking a few rules, other half likely kicked out or murdered. Fair warning.
Oh, I was unaware jogging was against the rules in the great city of Menzoberranzan then.
It's just very shady on what you're doing. Just giving you a fair warning. You can give me sass if you want. Good enough excuse to arrest you.
Thank you, kind sir. Might I have your name that I might laud you in my prayers tonight?
I don't know, what's a good surface world name? You can just call me Dave. You can clearly tell that's not his
But
name.
a traditional drow name.
Right. Don't really know if you speak Undercommon. And by the looks of no chains on you, likely don't, since not a lot of goblins are out here freely in the city.
They twitch.
Well, at any rate, I'll let you go. Just give you a fair warning. Rather have less paperwork to do than bring you in. Alright, good luck to you. Try not to die. Or do. And, like, meet back
I'm
with
not
the
the
other
boss
two
to you,
people.
unless I am. Yeah, thank you very much. We'll be on our way now at a more sedate pace.
They more or less walk
we were
away.
conversing in Undercommon, right? Like,
No, he was
kinda
speaking common.
said that, but- Okay.
Like it was broken, but it was still common. So, knows the language. He walks away, puts up his hand to say goodbye or like a nice meeting to you, and then walks
Did
back
this
to the other
guy-
two people.
During our conversation, did I notice that this guy was perhaps wearing a huge hat or an eye patch?
No.
Okay. Regular freaking dark. I don't have meta knowledge about the city.
Just a man named Dave.
Just your regular drow. Dave the Drow. Drow Dave. That's what they call me. Yeah.
Once that guy walks away, I'm gonna kind of step back towards Slash and ask, now that we're in here, how often is paperwork likely to be asked for, assuming we mind our own business?
If you likely break a law, they'll likely ask you for it while also arresting you. If you are trying to meet with someone, they'll likely ask you for documentation and the sort. If you're likely trying to go in somewhere of high restriction, they'll ask for it. But, like going to the bazaar and buying things, you should be fine. Looking for an inn, you should be fine. If you show them to it, you might actually get a fair price for things. But at the exact same time, if you show them to people, you might get robbed.
Fair enough. What have I gotten myself into?
Very dangerous city.
Yeah, literally the worst city not even on the face of the planet.
You guys begin to move away from those three guards. They more or less look at you, but don't do anything. Not worth it. You make it to the house that you were told about. Metagaming. And you do see Toulouse first. You do see it, and you stop the team as a guard is currently on the street, knocked out next to a trash can, buried in some dirt, but not so much so they'd suffocate. You can tell that their blades and their weapons are removed, and the spider symbol on their right shoulder seems to have been gutted out with a weapon. You're not really sure what that's about, but that happened. And then Brack sees it with the next highest passive perception, I think. And then probably one of you points it out.
Yeah, what did I tell you?
You're like a street or two before the house, so this happened before you actually make it to, as you would probably pronounce it, Du Erden.
Erden.
So wait, this is one of the guards, not the visitor?
Not the guard. We should probably keep moving.
It was the guard. You don't see the visitor anywhere.
Yeah, the visitor's gone, the guard's down, and we don't want to be caught around him.
Yeah, you're not on that street
Obvious.
yet, so there's no plausible connection to this potential crime.
Mhm.
Well, let's avoid that then.
Up to you. You make it to more of the farming area, and there you do see a few things. First of all, as mentioned beforehand, slavery is heavily much a thing here. And I'm just gonna go with this one, and hopefully it doesn't have any lyrics to it. It does. And it's Death Note. Is it this one?
We're
Nope,
closed.
the exact
Does
same one.
anybody wanna go? We're closed. Does anybody want to go to the bazaar?
What's that, Kobo?
I said we're
Yeah.
closed. Does anybody want to go to the bazaar?
Yeah, that was the plan. I wanted to go by House Door, and I think there's something going down in there, but it maybe on the way back or something.
As you make it to the
Doesn't make any
bazaar
sense.
house area, you do reach a farm landscape. There you do see patrolmen looking and wandering around. They do look towards you from time to time, but they don't do anything other than, give you a mean mug. In the fields of a whole bunch of Man, Sophie told me this word beforehand, but I forget. A whole bunch of mushrooms and spores everywhere with a good amount of foliage around. Currently being picked by some of them being orcs and others being goblins. You do see a scattered amount of humans and drow, all of them tatted with some type of symbol on their skin, usually on their face or somewhere very, very visible. It'd be very hard to, misplace it. Looking towards them, you can also see that they are collared and chained, to a degree indicating, well, servitude. You can tell that there are a variety of ages within this scope. What was that, Gothos?
Oh, just say, like you said that I told you the name for this, and I was like, for a mushroom farm? A chain gang?
No, with a whole bunch of mushrooms. I forget. I think it was myconids.
Oh yeah, a myconid forest.
Yeah, myconid forest. That's going to be picked by these individuals. A variety
So is it
of...
like low level, like knee high, or are we talking like head level mushrooms?
Some of them are ankle high, some of them are knee high. For the knee high ones, the orcs are picking them. For the ankle ones, the goblins are picking them, with a mixture of humans and the like in between that.
Literal hierarchy.
Yeah. And I want you guys to go ahead and roll perception.
Roll for resist morals. Perception. I'm bad. But I roll good.
Okay.
Although technically, I guess a bunch of mushrooms would just be called a fungal colony. But D&D fancy words.
Yeah, I just forget the actual name that they probably gave me, and I just forget. Okay.
Alliteration would tell you it's a fungal farm.
Probably. I assume Bract is busy, but you guys rolled pretty well enough anyways. Yeah. There's like no way any of you missed this. And I assume Boom is also busy, so I'm just gonna say it out loud because you guys rolled very well. Looking around you, you can tell that a whole bunch of, bad things are going down here. Immediately, you do see some people being whipped, others being tortured, just by small infractions here and there, either not working too fast or helping out another individual. However, at the very cornered edges of most of your visions, in fact, all of you, other than Boom, he's currently just like walking next to a spider, you can tell that there are a few people trying to get ready to make a break for it. You do see that a two-grouped pairing, what appears to be a motherly figure roughly around the ages of 37, with a fatherly figure looking towards the southern area of the forest where they're currently not, are like messing with their ankle braces and trying to remove them. And you can tell that eventually they'll get to it. You just don't know what might happen. They are looking towards the southern area, and with your high perceptions, you can tell that they're looking towards a young-looking individual, and based off of both of their appearances, likely their child.
Can Gothos tell which guards would be most likely to see them do this?
Yeah, you guys have rolled pretty well. I don't know if Gothos would, but Toulouse would probably tell you. He's not a terrible person. You can tell that from time to time, patrolmen are looking around and scattered. The closest individuals that would notice this are two people roughly 30 feet away from them.
Gothos will say, or mind thing to Tannhauser. Tannhauser, yeah, I need a full uniform inspection of the two officers Or the two soldiers, kind of eyeball them. We got brain link. I'm gonna need a full is every single button polished. Give them a full dressing down, will you?
You do see Tannhauser would follow this rule and heads over towards them. I want you to go ahead and roll deception for Tannhauser, because this for sure is not something they would do.
Come on, totally a thing that Lolth would have a spider do.
Yes, but Tannhauser isn't a spider of Lolth.
But they don't know that. They're not going to understand spider talk. They're just going to be like, oh,
I'll
spider's
give
all
him
touching up
deception,
all of me.
but you still need to roll.
And
Sorry,
Tannhauser
I'll
has
give
to
them
do it, huh?
disadvantage, but you still need to roll deception.
All right. I'm going to stop doing this. Oh dear.
Okay, they do have disadvantage now. Just roll once. Like one pair of deception die. Sorry, disadvantage die. So, like, if one of them does fail, then they both fail.
Sure.
Otherwise, if one of them succeeds, then you just fail automatically.
It's just this weird spider.
Yeah. They do have a +2, so it's not incredibly high, but, it's a 7 they need to beat. Okay. They have to take the lowest, and I'm rolling again.
Come on. Oh. If it weren't for the modifiers, if only Tannhauser was more than level 3.
Yeah. Looking towards these two individuals, you can tell that Tannhauser is looking towards them, and with your mental connection, you do take note that Tannhauser is looking up towards them and goes, all right, boots up, strapped down. Let's look at your buttons. Let's look at your shoelaces, making sure all that's tied up. They're acting in a military stance rather than a enforcement stance. Rather, they're trying to help instead of demanding to see what they have polished, clean. They're just, the way they're doing things, it does seem to be working out. And unfortunately, the way they also acted, they looked up rather than looked down at the drow individuals. Because it feels weird. Their mannerisms, unfortunately, is not fit for this. The drow looking towards them do state...
We're sure the drow have never seen a weird spider before.
No, it's all random. And the way Tannhauser is, they wouldn't fit for their current geography of the area. Because they wouldn't blend in well with the shadows. And looking down, they do state, pardon if I ask, but what house did you belong to? And you do have a mental leak.
Tannhauser doesn't speak. Like, Tannhauser can't speak. She can just understand.
Yeah. But you can tell that the way things are going, it doesn't seem like things are going well. However, Tannhauser did distract them, but you might have put the potential risk factor on yourselves. The guard looking towards the spider, and honestly, the spider would have needed to speak or had a spell casted on them to probably do this. So noticing that you guys are there and that Tannhauser came from you all, they do look towards you, which gives them gives the two people that maybe you're trying to help a chance to break around them. I'm gonna have them roll stealth at advantage against these two guys. Natural 20, 11. I'll take the natural 20. And they go into the giant myconoid area to hide within the scope. They're fine. They will likely take their kid. I'm gonna say they succeed with a natural 20. Why not? But you put the problem on your own hands. The two guards that are currently looking towards this look towards all of you and begin to come forwards towards the rest of the group, ignoring Tannhauser. The guard that was speaking with Tannhauser or trying to communicate with them does look towards all of you. With Boom being the very presence in the area behind Gothos, it is presumed that Gothos is the leader of this group. with no chains or tattoos. It's clearly you're not marked as being enslaved. So they do look towards you and seem to indicate in a broken common. No, they would go with undercommon first. So in undercommon, they do state, "What exactly are you all doing here?"
Papers, sir.
Pardon?
We have business with the well, with your betters, with your superiors.
And who exactly with? Any
Uh,
reason why you're spider? And that is
you expect
one
me to
problem.
understand or control the actions of a spider in this city?
No, I do not. But why exactly are they bothering us? And why hasn't a spell been casted upon them so they could communicate properly?
All things in this city are the will of Lolth.
That is
Except I
true.
wouldn't say Lolth, I'd say the Spider Queen.
Yeah, you say that. That is true. And Lolth's presence is all encompassing. Which begs the question again. You would have been likely told the reason you were sent with a spider, likely to make sure no one harassed you in the city. Without tattoos or chains, I assume your group is from the outside. Why
Again,
have
sir,
you
I have
been
no.
put in ill prepared? And I'll allow the rest of you to speak if your leader, presumably, cannot make an answer worth fitting the question.
Interim leader, sir. We came here with a dwarven princess. Alas, the Underdark is a dangerous place, and we were, shall we say, deprived of her presence. Far be it from me, a lowly goblin, to understand the intricacies of diplomacy in Drow society, let alone a spider's actions. I simply mean to get where I'm going.
Roll deception. It's not a full lie, but for sure you wouldn't put yourself underneath the and what does a lowly goblin as myself would. That for sure is a lie. You think too highly of yourself.
I do think of myself like that. I just
Yeah,
thought that we were on the here.
I
That was all
think
in
no
common?
matter.
Was that?
That was all in common?
That was an undercommon.
Inspiration, Gothos.
So, bardic inspiration. What do we?
Probably.
Just add a d6. Yeah.
Okay.
'23 is pretty good.
Apparently you don't need it.
I'm gonna still add the 6 because I mean, why not?
26.
Damn good roll.
Okay. They just had a number to beat. They do look towards you and they do simply state, "Right. Well, unfortunate for you and your team. Where are you heading? I'm sure we can assist with this problem you have."
Jeez, I'm just thinking of throwing the family under the bus because they decepted so well, or they stealthed so well.
Like, they're gone. Like, they were able to take their kid and, like, bolt out. In the corner of your vision, you do see them mouth thank you, and they, like, escaped into the Underdark. They may or may not survive. They'll probably be okay. They'll likely wind up with Verizian and the Shield Guardians, so they'll make sure they're okay. But you guys are in trouble. It's not as if they don't believe you. It's now like, oh, these guys are here for a diplomatic reason. Where are they? How can we help? If this gets back to us, we don't want to get in trouble. So they're basically offering for assistance, and from the way it sounds, they are not taking no for an answer, or else they would get in trouble.
Yeah.
Just
No,
kind of
in that
looking at Gothos with these big eyes. It's like, Am I allowed to talk?
They did
Without
say you
actually
guys can
saying
speak.
Yes. Yeah, Gotho or Kobo, if you have anything to say. But I think these
Well,
gentlemen might have other responsibilities. Kind of glancing at empty chains.
well,
Do
sir,
you
we
really want to throw them
simply-
under the bus? Because I will take back that natural 20.
No, that was only because of the natural 20. What does Kobo have to say?
Well, sir, we just got into town and we're on a diplomatic mission, but our mission doesn't actually begin until tomorrow when we get to meet our consort here in the town. So we were just trying to get to the bazaar to do some shopping and then find an inn for the night. I don't know if we really want to be bothered doing that, sir.
And so begins the web of lies.
Go ahead
That
and
is
roll this.
absolutely true. We're not going to meet our people till tomorrow. We're looking for the inn and we were going to do shopping.
No, they'll
Absolutely honest.
find you. That's the main premise.
That was a made up. Like we never said any. No one said anything about tomorrow or staying the night.
Yeah, you're basically
Sure,
supposed
we're
to be
gonna go
staying
to
out
the
of
bazaar.
trouble
I thought
until
that
they
was-
find you.
I thought that was the plan. We were going to go to the bazaar, get an inn, and wait for them to meet us.
Antidote suggested getting an inn because we're not sure how long we'll be here.
Yes, that's exactly. That's what I thought. I'm
But
sorry, I didn't know that wasn't the plan. I thought that was the plan. I'm lying only
I
because
missed
I was
that. I must
ignorant,
have missed
so I'm
that.
still telling the truth.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
this is more or less
that
bending the
was-
truth, but not a lie. Roll persuasion.
I think this is more telling the truth than filling in the gaps that he forgot.
It's still persuasion.
I honestly heard getting an inn, so I honestly thought that was our plan.
Fair enough. I missed that.
Our consorts.
Again, it's not a lie and it's not the truth. It's more of not really understanding what's going on. It's still persuasion.
It's an incomplete truth, but roll. Ooh, nice.
Nice. Okay. Like, they have a +2. Unless they roll a natural 20, it's not going to happen. I'm just going to roll a d20.
5%
I am
chance.
proficient
Thank
in
goodness.
persuasion.
They do look towards you and they do state, one of us can accompany you along. Your spider clearly wasn't given the magical enchantment to speak with others. It's become problematic for you in the long run if you must meet with your
Gothos will just
contact
shrug.
tomorrow.
Perhaps he simply
It's
does not
not
wish
a
to
problem.
speak with you. I know
Roll-
not the way of spiders.
Okay, at that point, you're honestly just lying.
I don't know the way of spiders. I know the way of Tannhauser.
That and
Tannhauser's
maybe she just
technically
want to
a
speak with
facer.
you. That part's a lie.
I
There's
don't
still
know.
some
I
other
never asked Tannhauser that. Maybe they didn't want to speak. Anyway,
You asked
That
her
was
to
kind of me joking, but
go
I'll
over
roll
towards
if
them
you want.
and inspect them.
There's still some slaves around, right? Like, not counting the ones that got away.
Yeah.
All right. So can I actually see what their markings are that would indicate that they're a slave?
It's that tattoo close to the neck and like covering some of the face. It's like not heavily intricate because it's basically like a brand.
How big is it?
Covering 1/4 of the face, so like most of the cheek and some of the neck.
Hmm.
It's very distinct. If you escaped, you would be easily discerned who you are. Magic wouldn't be able to get rid of it unless you held it onto it for such a long time.
You gotta have a great arresto.
Well, if I wanted to reproduce that with prestidigitation, is that possible?
Yeah, but it only
Well,
lasts for I think like a minute, so for sure.
That'd be an hour, actually, but
Okay, cool. An hour, but yeah, for sure.
mm-hmm.
But the guard
Alrighty.
does state, it's quite all right. We insist. And why would a spider not want to communicate and be the ever-growing presence within Lost Kingdom? That makes no sense.
Is this guard male or female?
Hard to tell. They're very beautiful between the lines of androgynous. But you have to guess based off of the way the armor is. Probably female.
Rats.
In it for the dudes, I see.
No, because you could scare the hell out of dudes, but females are like, no, I know what's going on. The men are like, please don't kill me, lady.
Yeah. Like, of course, but at the exact same time, since they're a guard, they're not like high up in the family.
Hmm.
So it's still theoretically possible, but it does make sense why she's not like fully into standing in line with the spiders, to the degree of complete and primal fear.
Oh, far be it from me to refuse so generous an offer. Yeah, I just hope that leaving your post without any sort of warning to your family heads won't leave you in a dire situation later.
It's quite all right. She like begins to say something in Undercommon, and you can understand that they're casting a spell. You know the spell Find Familiar, so obviously you understand when a spider like crawls down from the roof and like lands on her shoulder. She begins to say something to it in Undercommon. Those of you that speak Undercommon clearly hear this message. Communicate with the web. Contact another patrolman and have them being sent here. I will be escorting some representatives around the city for the next coming day. Afterwards, I'll make my patrol back and give my report then. The spider does more or less nod and like crawl back up to the roof. If you can just wait and spare 5 minutes, the next patrolman will be arriving. And you did state that your party member that will be joining you next day will be here tomorrow. Plenty of time. I suppose you might be in a rush to shop, though.
Yes, it's best we proceed to the bazaar. At the spider's pleasure, of course.
Of course.
And as we leave right now. Oh,
Oh,
look, we've got to go.
roll sleight of hand, because they... Oh, wait. You have a mental connection, so you don't need to actually
Yep.
say anything. You can tell that Tannhauser is, like, walking away. You say that, and the woman guard does look towards Tannhauser and does state something in a language you don't really understand, but you do see that an invisible mark is placed on Tannhauser. And I wonder if it also hits you. Tannhauser was formed with summon steed, right?
Uh-oh. I think this might give you away.
And
Sorry,
then we
fine,
murdered the
Steve.
guard. No.
You summon spiritual swimming, quality intelligence, strong, road steed, creation, long, on, appearing in combat space within range. Steed takes the form of you choose warhorse, etc. Steed shows in for celestial fiend. Type. Additionally, steed intelligence 5 or less. Intelligence becomes 6. It gains the ability to understand one language of your choice that you speak. And I assume you chose Goblin or Common.
I probably chose Undercommon because that'd just be useful.
Yeah. Then that means they for sure could have spoken. Your
Well,
steed,
they can't speak. They can understand. Does it say speak? I don't have.
His intelligence
Spiritual
becomes
ability.
6. It gains the ability to understand one language of your choice that you speak. Oh, that you speak. My bad.
Yeah.
Both in
Yeah,
combat and
like
out,
if
you
you-
have instant bond with this target. Only target your steed. When the steed drops to 0 point disappears, you can also disband speed. Maximum while the steed is 1 mile of you, you can command it with that word. You bonded by the spell at a time. As an action, you can release the steed from its bond, causing it to disappear. Okay, so it's a familiar spell I was thinking of. You can tell that this person is speaking something in a language you don't fully understand, but you can get that they're not casting something, but their eyes flicker and something does latch on to uh, Tannhauser. That no one here is a ranger, that you wouldn't know. But you do know that something affected Tannhauser for like a second, and it might still, but you only felt it for like a second. They look towards you and they do state, "Do not fret. So long as they're a spider, they will not be dealt harm with. And I can always find them, so long as they don't leave the city now."
Why would I be concerned about the safety of a spider in Menzo Baranzan?
Exactly. So there's no need to rush. And how just like makes it to the bazaar without that much of an issue. And you're like still within range, so it's not really an issue without communication. Within a time limit of 5 minutes, another guard does come in and like she tells them what's currently going on. They are positioned here, basically taking up her post, and she joins the party.
All right, escort. Tell us where the most reasonably placed but lavishly anointed tavern is.
Of course, but we should really make haste towards your spider guardian. We don't want them to keep being waited. They
You're the one
find
who made us wait. Honestly, if the spider's wrath falls upon anyone, it'll be you. I wanted to go right away.
Of course. Well, unfortunately, your diplomat did give you terrible rulership. So, best pardon me and trying to help you out.
But thank you for your consideration. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it.
Of course. She makes way towards the bazaar and easily finds Tannhauser. You're not entirely sure how, but she easily found him. Her, sorry. Entering inside the bazaar, you do see a menagerie of shops here and there. You do see people being sold. You do see standard merchandise being sold. Poisons, cutthroat weaponry, and things of that nature. She does state, "Now, you mentioned something high-end but not so high-end. Any other specifics other than that?"
Do you know a good magic shop?
Of course.
I'd like to get something fancy. How
Ah,
often do you
yes.
get to Menzo Baranzan?
Very few can, and very few can shop here without losing an arm or a leg. I'd be happy to take you here. You chose more or less something in the middle ground of fancy but not too fancy. She takes you to a shop where it has a whole bunch of what looks like stereotypical witch brewery equipment here and there, but at the exact same time, like heavy marked cleavers, weaponry that have like blooded edges, serrated edges, and things of that nature. Whips with barbed wire attached to it, or like strange symbols on them. You also see kukris, chakrams, and things of that nature. Very bizarre and intricate weaponry that aren't really common. But you also get the long sword, short sword, and things of that nature as well. But some of them
Yes.
far more magical than at first glance. Inside,
Yes, my retainers all have their own individual duties, of course. I think it best that we spread out a little bit. I will procure you and I think, madam, eyebrow raise, will procure lodgings for the group while the rest of them look around the bazaar for things that we require.
oh,
Groups
not.
of two, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
However, it would be problematic if you all scurry about. If not all of you were given
Well,
your
we'll find
proper
lodgings
documents,
first, and they will.
you might be picked up by someone easily willing to take you into slavery or the like. I'd prefer you all around rather than being dispersed out in unison. After all, your leader did die in a tragic accident, as you mentioned beforehand. I would hate to lose more of you. After all,
Did we
many a
tell-
stranger leave these streets, never to be seen again. Or again, but in chains.
Well,
All in
you
Mensa
say
Brands
about-
then is the will of law. If they're
Indeed,
destined to be slaves, they'll be slaves.
I've given you the
did-
warning. I suppose you can take up your own lives and the lives of your subordinates as easily as you will.
But you did say about our lodgings, and I don't know if anybody else wants to really be, buying a souvenir.
What's that, Kobo? You're very quiet.
Sorry. I said, well, you did mention lodgings, and I don't know if anybody else wants to really be buying souvenirs. Maybe we can all go to the inn, and once everybody is safely, at the inn, getting drinks, you can just escort me to the bazaar to shop if anybody else didn't want to go.
Out of character. This
Out
is
of
very
character.
much naughty. Out of character. I was trying to be able to split us so that we could make contact with someone without the drow guard right there.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
distract
Like,
the drow guard shopping while
she
everybody
said
else is sitting at the inn.
she did give you like more or less fair warning. Like, if you do split up, only one of you have potentially documents, and if
The papers, yeah.
yeah, and if you are
But,
picked
yeah.
up or like taken away, there's like really no way of defending yourself at that point in time.
That's why I'm taking the drow lady with me and leaving everybody else at the inn to get contacted. I'm the distraction.
Sounds like a good
Yeah,
plan.
and you can just ignore her. She did state you can take up your lives however you will.
And I think that would make her more suspicious, and she'd be checking on Tannhauser's location more.
Like
So
Tannhauser's
let's do
right
the
there.
inn idea, and she could take you shopping.
And then the rest of you can wait for contact or something. Does anybody else want to
Yeah.
go shopping?
Not really.
Okay.
Can't think of anything I want.
Nope.
I'm also surprised you haven't gotten in trouble yet. You've almost gotten in trouble 3 times.
I've been trying, but they're very suspicious.
Called
Yeah,
walking
yeah,
a
yeah,
razor's
he's fine.
edge.
Oh no.
Yeah. You ask about lodgings first before going to the major shops, and she does state, very well then, I can take you to either a high-end place somewhere around the middle, or if you believe price is a problem, a little below the poverty line.
I don't think
It would be
below the
improper for
poverty
us.
line, yeah.
It would
Yeah,
be
something-
improper for an emissary of our standing to stay anywhere that didn't charge gold.
My thoughts exactly. And you like even without rolling, you guys can tell that this is more or less a way of testing you to see if you are meant to be here. While she doesn't believe you're being untrustworthy, she's also, covering her bases.
Yeah, that's why I figured give her something to do, but leave the rest of the party at the end so that they can do what we need to get done.
Do what you will. She does head over towards a very nice inn. It's very decorative and it's made out of what appears to be, at first glance, iron, but at second glance, very dark material. I don't remember the word or name for it, but I'm going to say basically stone that's almost pure black and highly, highly reflective.
Obsidian?
Probably. You enter inside, and there stands another drow man individual with a few people coming in and out of the area. There isn't really much other than a clean-cut waiting room. To the left of that, you do see in Undercommon a little room called the tea room. Further beyond that point, you do see a restaurant. But, you can go there or not. It's entirely up to you. And you do come up towards the desk, and this man does state, "Welcome, honored guests, and you have a guard here with you. Well, what do I owe the honor of your attendance here?" Do you plan to spend more than a night, or
But
just a
it's-
night?
For the moment, a night will suffice.
Of course. They like count one by one how many people are here, write something down, and then look towards Tannhauser. Nod, say something in Undercommon, which you would know. They do state Loth Talu Mala, which in Undercommon translates to Loth be praised. And when your mound doesn't say it back or something of that nature, the guard does state, it seems this one wasn't enchanted properly. They lost their leader along the way. Ah, I see. Well, nevertheless, they say it towards all of you. Loth be praised.
Nod. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'll
when
specifically say Lolth be praised.
when some of you like mumble close enough to the idiom or like Gothos going, yeah, he does state, right, you're not from here. You generally say it back, but it's quite all right. Very well
Did say
then.
it back.
Yeah. Glory to the Spider Queen. Sure.
That's a new one. I suppose that should suffice with me for now. Do learn the idioms while you're down here. That being the case, though, with so many of you, that would be 10 gold per. So the total of 10, which would be 100 gold. Obviously,
I suppose
your
Gothos has
emissary
to pay
spider
it
would
because-
not sleep.
Kobo steps forward, pulls out a pouch, pulls out a stack of 10 platinum pieces, sets them on the counter, and slides one more over to him.
They do
My
not.
bursar.
They do take it, put it underneath, likely with the rest of their coffers. Give you guys each a key. And you can tell that these are magically enchanted to let you inside your own room. No key would work other than your own, and likely the master key, which he actually has. He then states, very well then. You may take the second wing of the second floor. Other than that, you are more than welcome to enter into the tea room or the restaurant whenever you deem it necessary. And I do hope your emissary does well in the afterlife. And I
Should I
pray to Loth that your excursion bodes well.
Mysterious are the ways of the Lord of Assassins.
Do you want to say that? I would say no.
Okay. If you say no. The Lady of Assassins. That's her thing. She's the Lady of Assassins.
I don't think they like to mention that part out loud, though.
They don't mention that part out loud. And
Yeah,
the first thing you said, Lord of Assassins, is another god.
I know.
That's
Lord,
actually a different deity, yes.
I know. I misspoke.
Misspoke, he said.
So-
I think it was all
Right.
rather intentional.
From this point on, even if it's misspoken,
Okay.
I am going to take you
You'll
guys at
take
your
it.
word. I've already given you
Alright.
enough warnings.
There's a reason why I have not spoken, because I am a dum-dum.
Yeah.
And I shall not speak.
Like, you can tell there's only 10 rooms on the second floor, and there's 3 floors altogether. The main floor, which was downstairs, which is the tea room restaurant. The second floor, which you all have a key to, so, you can interchangeably go wherever you want. The third floor is, like, for other people, but you have the main, like, your walking grounds could be anywhere on the second floor. Like, you're entirely up to yourself. The keys also have a secondary function, which have the spell known as... Man, blinking on the words, and this note does not help me. Or maybe it does. It has Invisible Servant in it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Unseen Servant
Unseen
is
Servant.
a first level spell.
Yeah, I don't know why I have it written this way, but yeah. He tells you that if you need something within the premises, you can have your servant attend to that desire or need. I welcome you once again to the city and towards your endeavors for tomorrow. They once again say Loth be praised, and more or less you mumble something.
Lolth be praised. I say it clearly, just like last time.
Eten en verlaten.
Indeed.
They nod. They just nod towards Boom, and the rest more or less. They don't scowl, but they like looked disgusted, and they like help out the next customers. You guys head up to the second story roof. Obviously your guard friend wouldn't be joining you, but they wait by the stairs and introduce state. Once you are all ready to depart, I will be stationed out front, so whenever you are comfortably seated inside, you may attend to the other desires you need. I wouldn't want all of you to be lost before you make a contact with your friend. They begin to head downstairs,
Yes, that
and
would be bad if we got lost before we made contact. That would be bad.
of course, they head downstairs and like more or less take a position in front of the inn that you're currently staying in.
All right, as we go upstairs, I say, okay, guys, I'll try and keep her distracted and busy as long as possible while you guys hopefully make contact. Do you want to meet me in the tea room or the restaurant or something, or should I just come back up to my room?
Honestly, if anybody here is going to be doing the least amount of stealth, it should probably be me.
you
Jingle,
wanna go
jangle,
shopping too?
jingle.
Yeah. I was
Yeah, if
talking
we
about
can keep it busy.
stealth. Yeah, I was going to keep her busy in the shops, but you guys were going to wait up here for the contact. I don't know if you want to wait in your rooms or go to the restaurant or the tea room. Where do you want me to meet you? I'll keep her as long as possible and see if I can do my best to make her leave afterwards.
Is there like an underdark version of like a patio in front of this inn?
There is the tea room that is the closest thing to a patio.
I guess Gothos
So
will just Kobo can do whatever he is distracting. Gothos will sit himself beside a window. Do they have windows in underdark buildings? I don't know.
They do for this one.
Yeah, and he'll make himself, sort of conspicuous.
Yeah.
and now,
Like, hey, look at me! I'm smoking a pipe right near the window. A goblin in armor. What do you know? Nobody could contact me subtly.
Okay.
okay, so I'll just meet you guys in the tea room when I get back.
Yeah, one of my retainers, dark elf guard, who I still haven't got the name of. Hello.
You never
Gothos,
asked.
what's your name? I guess if we're going to be working closely together, we should probably get to know each other, at least on a first name or basis.
She went down to the front of the inn waiting for us to come out. She's not with us.
I'm
Yeah.
sitting by a window.
Oh, sorry.
I'm kidding.
That being the case, though, she's also
it's all
in front of the building, so you wouldn't be near her to begin with.
Okay, fine.
Do you like go over there and tell her this?
Yeah.
She looks towards you. Ah, very well then. That does make a hint of sense. Go ahead and roll insight while she tells you her name. I am known as Yamathal. It is an honor to help an emissary of Loth down here.
Come on,
Those that do her
character
work.
sheet.
Is that just Gothos or everybody?
Unless you join Gothos, then just Gothos. If you joined them,
Wow.
you can do it too.
Yeah, join me, friends.
Yeah.
And sorry, what was it she said? She was happy to help any emissary of law?
Yeah, around those lines. Kobo, you're not sure if her name is a real name, or she just gave you a name in case, like, you guys caused trouble and she didn't want to get in trouble.
No.
But other than that, it does seem genuine that she's happy to help, or more or less forced to help.
And what was that name again? Yatten Schmatten?
Sure, it can be Yamashwatan now. It's a
No,
fake
I
name
honestly
anyway.
do not remember. That was a very confusing name.
It was Yamathal, but you can just call her Yul.
Yomathal.
Yam. Oh, okay. Yamathal. All right.
Yomathal, will you sit here and have tea with me, or do you think it more prudent that you go with my retainers about their business procuring things in the bazaar?
If your
Well, I don't have
retainers
the
do carry the
paperwork, so-
documents, I suppose I could join you. If they do not and you carry them, it would be more
Well,
prudent for me to join them.
Well, yeah, you keep the paperwork with everybody else here, and I've got her in case there's a problem. She can help me.
What's
Right?
that?
She can help me?
You cut out like halfway through that.
Sorry, I said, maybe it's best if you keep the paperwork because everybody else is here, and I've got Yamathal here who can help me in case there's a problem. Right? You can help me?
To a degree.
You're not gonna. Okay.
I cannot help you if you break the law.
I don't intend to do that, and I'm sure you'll tell me if it's about to happen, and I won't. I follow your instructions. I understand. I'm in a place I don't understand.
Of course. So who goes out to the bazaar? You don't have to buy anything, but who joins this excursion?
What's available in the bazaar?
A variety of things, honestly. As mentioned beforehand, slavery,
You want to buy a
weaponry.
person?
Oh, I don't intend to do that, no.
There's a whole bunch of things that are sold in the bazaar, but for brief recap, just about anything and everything is sold there. So we're talking about jewelry, clothing, weaponry, people, drugs, poisons, certain jobs that people can do, shady jobs that people can do, scummy jobs that people can do.
This is this is the biggest and most powerful city in the Underdark. It has both the biggest market and the biggest black market.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't sound like a very black market if that stuff's that obvious.
It's not. It's basically the black market intertwines with the normal market. It would be considered a
slavery is
black market
fine. The
elsewhere.
black market is like you want like a cross of the god. Ooh, that's secret. But
Yeah.
also stuff from like the surface from the guys that we ran into earlier. They're smugglers from the surface.
Uh-huh. That is also true. Like, the stuff down here is very well made, but some of it has, like, slight sensitivity issues, or, like, destructive measures if, having way too much oxygen, around it.
Like the black market down here is like, we got this wood. We got a wood dresser here.
Yeah, more or less the black market is, like, things you can find on the surface that are still very expensive or very hard to get down here. And as Gothas mentioned, wood is near impossible to find down here, unless it's like the root of plants and things of that nature. Like, you could find anything down here. And some things you don't want to find, you can find down here.
Some things you specifically don't want to find, you're going to find.
So what about spells?
Yeah, like, easily. There's, like, just walking near the area of the bazaar, you found like 3 or 4 stalls that had spell scrolls ready, old tomes ready to be learned, and like very high-end stuff as well. Spell wands, staves, staves, however you want to pronounce it. Books on increasing your intelligence, books on increasing your speed. Again, everything, but
papers.
With the papers, yeah. If you just stay within the inn that you're in, you should be fine. No one would mess with you there unless you like walk out.
Yeah. Okay. So, team, I know I'm like exercising you as like errand boys, but you know,
And with the guard,
deception, right?
you should also have clearance for the most part.
Yeah. Why don't I just send Kobo to that with his regular shopping,
Not a problem.
I can do that.
and I'll give him whatever gold he needs for that. Obviously.
Yeah. Okay. From what it sounds like, Boom is on the fence, but so far it's just Kobo that's going. No one has to go. You just want to make sure people that want to go are included.
Well, sure, Boom, you can go if you want. I'm just gonna be talking to the nice lady here.
You're very quiet.
So yeah, Boom, you can come if you want. I'm just gonna be talking to the really nice lady here.
I heard yep, and then sorry, man.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah, Boom, you can come if you want. I'm just gonna be talking to the nice lady here and doing some shopping. And if you want to get some spells, just don't forget to get the magical inks you need to make them over yours. It'll be fun.
What good is ink without paper?
Oh, you don't already have a spell book?
We do have plant-based paper down here.
It's like you're talking to two people whose magic just works. We're like, what do you mean paper?
If I'm gonna be having your armor modified, do I need your measurements?
You didn't get the measurements down. That's not an issue. You have them.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay. Last call. Who's going? Who's not?
Gothos will stay by the window.
I'm staying put.
Uh-huh.
Well, shouldn't we rest for 10 minutes first before venturing out?
Sure, yeah, eat a crumpet.
If you want.
I don't know why, but sure, yeah.
You rest for 10 minutes without too much of an issue. She politely waits outside the door while you guys more or less go into
Well,
the tea
my
room.
idea of resting was to spend 10 minutes casting Rary's telepathic bond.
Yeah, I assume you're going to
Yeah,
cast
go,
a spell.
go up to your room and prepare.
Yeah.
Honest, if you were.
During those 10 minutes, you have a bite to eat. You'll later be billed about what you eat. So FYI.
They're gonna bill me for nibbling on my own rations?
Now if you like get something from down here or like in the restaurant or something like that. If it's your own stuff,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Gothos has to maintain appearances.
Yeah. You like eat a nice scone. It's very hard to get, so it just costs a silver.
Fair enough.
But other than that, though, you begin to prepare the spell while you're eating on your own rations, and you telekinetically bond with your team members. You connect with the rest of the gang, and I don't know if you also get Townhauser or not. Entirely up to you. But along the way, before you finish the
I'm
spell,
going to keep Tannhauser with me so that I have credibility.
Yeah. I just mean I don't know if Boom's gonna connect with them telepathically. That being the case, though, when you were walking inside the city, Boom, you could tell that people did have familiars around them, but mainly spiders, lizards, and things of those quality. Some salamanders here and there, and some people did have bats. So it's not like out of place that you would have a familiar on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them spiders, though. There's no getting around that.
Alrighty. Maybe I will go out and look around. I maybe got an idea to look up a few rituals.
Yeah. By the 10 minutes cast, you guys more or less rest up, meet up before heading out. You decide to head out on your own or with Kobo?
I'll head out with Kobo.
Okay.
Yeah, it means you're gonna be stuck with the lady. You can't ditch her.
Well, you can. It's just at your own risk.
Yeah, she's gonna be angry if you do. If you wanted to suit out on your own,
Well, probably less likely to get ripped off or stabbed or something if the lady's around when I'm doing my spell shopping.
That works.
Or if you have the documents,
Okay.
one or the other. But yeah, you join Kobo along the way into the bazaar while the rest of the gang stays here. You connected with them telepathically, so before you head out, you make them aware of it. They were probably aware as soon as it happened, but make them aware of it with words. Obviously, you do it secretly, so like no one else that's here knows about it.
Well, probably because of a, just a telepathic message. Hey, I'm in your head now.
Creepy, but for sure you can do that.
Remember me?
You begin to head on to the bazaar, and the woman does state towards both of you. Very well then, where shall we attend to first?
Let's go ahead and get Master Gothos' armor out of the way. That way we can just drop it off and I don't have to keep carrying it.
Oh, is he the new leader of your group after your...
He's kind of the de facto leader, but we all have reasonably equal standing because we were all handpicked for our abilities by the Dwarven King. So, we all have reasonably equal standing, but for different reasons. And we kind of elected Gothos the person to talk for us because we understand that traditions and customs here in Mesobaranzan are strange, and we don't want to offend anybody. So I apologize if we make any social faux pas. We have no intentions of it. We just don't know.
It is understandable that you don't know. Personally, your human companion would probably have been the better choice of them all, but they seemed less talkative, so I understand this part. And I can understand a dwarven king not understanding the ways down here, sending you all to potentially die, not having any safeguards in case their politician also died in turn. So many failures on their part, but it is why you're down here. You try to sway things in your favor.
Yeah, just let her think down on the dwarven people. Yep.
Yeah.
She begins to take you to a blacksmith, thought to be an issue. You do find an orcish man currently chained up, hammering away at the equipment while a drow's like shouting at them with profanities in Undercommon. You can clearly tell the profanities. But as soon as they see the guard and you, they go into a more chipper kind of way of doing things. They do state in their own native tongue. Welcome to the... Oh, strangers. Well, welcome nonetheless. They do look towards the guard and they do state, it's been quite some time. Yes, I have here diplomats that have need for your services. Yes, of course. Well, welcome to Bazaar. My name is... what would it be in common? At this point in time when he's like referencing you, he is speaking in common.
Oh, I was going to say at that exact point in time when he said, how do I say it in common? I will tell him in undercommon. Oh, no, that's okay. I can speak with you.
Yes, of course. Well, my name is Womathal. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, especially if you have coin.
Of course I do. Nice to meet you, Womathal. People generally call me Kopo.
Gothos is about to get overcharged, isn't he?
A pleasure, Kobo, and look towards Boom. And who might you be?
I am Boom of the Thunderstorm.
Yes, both name and title. Truly a marvelous thing. When he says that, it's not as if he's casting a spell or anything. I'm just letting you know. The orcish indentured servant smashes in and accidentally smashes into his left hand. This man has been overworked. As soon as that happens, Yomathal grabs a bit of metal that hasn't been worked on and throws it at the man, hitting his eye and gutting into it. In Undercommon, he shouts at him, but obviously since you can understand it, he does state, "Imbecile, you do know how much it costs to heal you back up? Do not do this again, or next time it'd be both eyes."
Ew. I'm terribly sorry to ask, but is he going to be doing the hammering work for me?
Oh no, of course not. Those are for the people that can barely pay. For you and for a friend of the god, I'd be more than willing to do this work myself.
Oh, that would be amazing to have true artistry.
Of course. Now then, what can I service for you today?
Boom
I
has to
have
look in
this-
a random direction away from everybody so he can roll his eyes for a moment.
I have this armor here, and I don't creep out the armor. And these are the dimensions of the being it must fit. If you could have it reworked a little bit, maybe add a flourish, something very fancy.
Ah, you would like it enchanted and to fit these specifications. Oh, rather small frame. Oh, that it does make sense. Very well then. This should only take roughly 2 to maybe 3 hours. It would cost roughly 100 gold, which shouldn't be too much of an issue for someone of high repute as yourself. And
Not
you
a
wanted it far more than it already is, correct?
Yeah, make it awesome.
Ah, yes, of course. Here at my shop, I make the most awesome things. Awesome
Oh.
wouldn't translate under comments, which is very weird.
Okay. Sorry.
He understands what it means.
Make it.
It's just very
yes,
weird
Make,
how he says it.
It's
make
it's
it,
like the old timey, like it's not awesome, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It inspires awe.
Yes. that would be.
Yes.
That would be the thing, sir. Yes.
Of course. It is very hard to do, but I can make this so it doesn't burn up in the sun if you intend to go back to the surface. Not that I don't, not that you would. After all, down here, you can be a king if you have enough funds. You can be all powerful if you have the right rulership or house behind you. And again, unfortunately, because he was literally just blinded in one eye, the orcish man makes a mistake again. And the guy that's speaking with you sighs heavily. He takes something that appears to be
pardon
a
me, sir,
blade,
pardon
fully red.
As he's grabbing it, I say, sir, I did hear you were having problems with your slave, and how expensive
Oh yes,
it
not
is
to worry.
heal
It's
him
quite
up.
all right.
Well, I heard you say how expensive it was to heal him up. Allow me as a tip. Without casting a spell, I touch him on the shoulder and heal him 1d8 hit points.
No.
There you go, sir. Now your slave is working again.
Technically not a god ability. It's intrinsically
it's-
magic.
That's
It's
not.
the rod.
Go ahead and roll
What's
persuasion.
the rod?
This could be looked at in a good way, potentially,
Yeah,
since he is a
it's-
merchant.
Yeah, I'm taking care of the costly effects of healing his slave, so now his slave can continue working. And it's not a spell I'm casting because it's from a magic item, the rod.
No, that's not the point. The way he would see it is potentially cost effect kind of thing. So go ahead and roll persuasion.
Yeah, Kobo did specifically say as a tip, so he
Yeah.
ceded
That's
that
what I'm saying.
idea.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Free healing persuasion.
I get
Free
that.
healing versus.
Roll him up.
Make
I'm basically just stating
I'm
that
going to use a luck point.
you
do
already
that again.
know that slaves basically have no rights. So,
This is let
no,
me
the slave
let
doesn't
me
have the right,
let
it's
me
the
take a
owner.
look at your horse's legs, sir.
yeah. That's why I'm saying roll
The
persuasion.
second one is the one I'm keeping.
Yeah.
I used a luck point.
Yeah. You heal them up, and the man before, man, that analogy of horse soap is very good. Before he has to put his horse down, due to all the damage, he puts his blade back down. Ah, yes, of course. Very gracious of you.
Much more cost effective.
Indeed. They then look towards his indentured servant. Now then, you only get one of those. I'd prefer you not to endanger my business. Let alone, it is expensive to heal you, but I can always buy another. And then he looks towards you. Thank you, my friend. And for you,
Glad to
sir,
help.
looks towards Boom. Is there anything I can do for you? And you did look away, like scoffing at all this. And when you're looking away through the glass, of the shop, you can tell that there are two people being sold currently in the bazaar. A small tabaxi child and an elderly tabaxi woman. The tabaxi woman looks maybe the age of a grandmother, and the tabaxi child maybe 8 years old, give or take. Definitely cognizant of what's currently happening, but these two people are currently being sold separately by two separate buyers. And the man then states again, pardon, did something perhaps catch your fancy?
Perhaps a bit later. I'm actually kind of curious to see the craftsmanship of the work that you'll be doing. I'm a little bit distracted. I've kind of had some other shopping that I need to get out of the way first, and just contemplating that. When we stop by to pick up this work, perhaps I'll have something in mind then. But
Of course.
you know,
We are more than willing to take your business either today or tomorrow. So long as you have coin. Then I'm more
Of
than willing to
course.
help. Well then, it will take roughly for you I will make sure it is 2 hours.
Oh, why, thank you so much. You are too kind to put
Of
me in ahead.
course.
And how much does this cost?
100 gold.
Okay.
Now then, if there is nothing else, I will get right to it. If there is, then let me know.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that would be good for now. Thank you so much for your services, sir.
Of course. The
It's an
guard
excellent
politely
shop, I must
nods
recommend
towards
it.
him. Very well then. Next, wherever you all like to attend to. He exits the shop and she says this.
All right. Verbally, I'll say. Actually, no. First, mentally to Kobo. Ask her if there are any good shops for spells. And while Kobo's distracting her with that question, I'm going to go ahead and summon Echo and mentally ask if Echo will, go ahead and follow those two tabaxi to see where they end up.
They are going in separate directions.
Follow the child. And of course, watch out for spiders. Don't put yourself in undue risk.
Yeah. You cast a spell, which would take an hour, but I'm going to say it takes a few seconds.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
summoning my familiar back.
Oh, right,
yeah,
right, right. Sorry, what am I
Echo
thinking
didn't
of?
die. It takes an action to just.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's my bad. I'm thinking of something else. Do you send them out towards the
Thinking to
child?
find Steve?
Probably. You send them out towards the child, and currently an elderly-looking tiefling with a drow woman are heading towards a carriage, but it will take them a couple of minutes to get there. In the long run, you keep an eye towards the woman, but after a while, she is hidden in the streets with a whole bunch of people in the group. Both the people are crying and crying out for each other. More on that later. You ask Kobo to ask the woman, where can I get some spell scrolls and ritual stuff? And she does state, magic. There are a few places, but if you're looking for quality and price isn't an issue, I can take you to, I believe in the common tongue it is known as Richard's
I speak Undercommon.
Goodly Wares. Then it would be Relenthaw's Infinite Items.
I mentally say to Kobo, yeah, right. I mentally say
Just
to
mentally
Boom.
say everything to Kobo.
Yeah, I mentally say to Boom, I seriously hope price is not an issue because we're going to a expansive place.
She asked if price is an issue. If price isn't an
Yeah,
issue,
I know.
you can say
I mentally,
maybe somewhere else.
yeah, and that's what I'm getting at is I mentally say that to Kobo really quick, and he needs to respond to me now.
Yeah.
Well, it's mainly just low to moderate ritual spells, so nothing super high end for what it's worth.
No, what I'm getting at is, do you have like 2, 3, 4, 500 gold to spend, or do you need less?
I will say that you could collectively use the money funds of your entire group if your group allows it, since they knew you were going shopping. But entirely up to you guys.
Okay, well, to look at this a different way, saying this mentally to Kobo, is there a reason that some place would need to charge a lot higher for the exact same spell as some other place? I mean, we're not talking about the difference between a gourmet meal and hardtack.
Brand names, and
I
depending,
yeah,
it could be more stuff there.
yeah. I think this is because of selection and quality versus actual spell price. I think you'll be getting market price for spells, but
Yeah,
you might
and
have a higher qualities of other stuff.
yeah, and Kobo, you do know that some like cheap end magicians do use this stuff in the underground, not underground, underdark, that basically helps with the production of making magical weapons, spell scrolls, and things of that nature. But it's highly potent and very dangerous. If you don't know how to use it, you could just make something dangerous for yourself or the caster, or at the very
The cheap
least
stuff
cause wild magic to surge.
the cheap stuff could explode in your face. I think we're gonna go get the quality spells.
Wait, this is
Yeah,
actually about spells as opposed to items?
Both.
you want spells, right?
You want enchanted items?
Yeah.
Spells are included.
Well, I just want
Yeah.
spells.
To put in his spell book so we can cast them. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, it would
Scrolls and
all be in the
stuff.
same place. It's
Yeah.
just depending on if you want
Okay.
to go cheap or high or low.
Um.
Sorry, cheap, medium, or high.
Well, we're definitely not going cheap, especially not since how often do we get to Menza Brandon, right? I mean, this is a weird place. I mean, honestly, lady, and I continue like this for the entire time. But honestly, I mean, yeah. So yeah, I think maybe the high end thing could, get some good quality spells that aren't gonna blow up in her face and stuff, and I think that would be pretty good. And maybe they'll have some good magical spell ink stuff because my friend here wants some stuff like that. You know what I mean, lady? Hey,
So
you're a
during this,
woman. I've noticed there's a lot of women in this town. Are you like women in charge?
There would be a lot of men on the streets, but not a lot of women on the streets. But whenever you do see one, they are usually tailed by a menagerie of people. That being the case,
Yeah,
though, you
see,
can still
that's what I'm
ask that.
talking about right there. As a woman passes and a bunch of guys follow her,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, are all you women in charge?
For the most part,
those-
the leaders of
More.
the houses are predominantly women. So yes.
Wow.
exclusively.
I know, but she's not going to tell you the whole truth.
I don't
I'm in
expect her
I'm
to,
in
but I'm gonna
everyone's
keep
brain.
talking. I'm giving you guys as much time as I can away from her to make contact. So I'm gonna be distracting her and be annoying as possible. So hopefully, when she drops me off at the end, she's just frustrated and leaves. Or at least that's the idea.
She's had to
Anyway,
deal
it's
with
gonna be
worse.
really cool.
Because, yeah, pissing off the guards is a good idea.
Of
I'm not
course.
pissing off the guards. I'm being overly friendly.
Yeah.
I'm gesturing them.
She honestly takes it in stride. Unfortunately for you. You do make it to the bazaar. This is the next quarter district, which would be the magic shop entrance. There you find a moderately bargain area. It's not cheap, but it's also not heavily expensive. It's right around the middle. Instead of instead of the one she named, she took you to Belathar's Goods. Entering inside, you do see you do see more or less a tiefling woman. I'm gonna get him a man. Tiefling man behind the counter, not the owner, but someone that works there. Currently, he's looking towards all of you and does state, welcome guests. A god with you. That's quite all right. What can I service for you today? Clearly, you're here for magic. What shall it be? He begins to palm his hands together, rubbing them. Now, would it be spell scrolls, spell books, magical items, perhaps a collar for binding your slaves or indentured servitude?
Well, actually, I think we're looking for some spell scrolls for my friend here, but this lady here isn't really a guard. She's just actually escorting us so we don't get in trouble because we don't want to be unsafe in this town because we've never been here before. It's nice to meet you.
That is still called a god, sir, but I understand what you mean.
I say
Uh,
this in Undercommon, at least.
Yeah. At no point in time did he try to speak common. This man doesn't.
Great persuasion score. Terrible, like, conservation of information.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I'll tell you my life story.
Well, that's the point. I'm supposed to seem like that
He
without
does.
giving any real information.
Yeah, he does state. Zu isala das full Quran uthadra, which translates to "Do as you are ordered and live," which is a common
That
greeting.
sounds important. Nice to meet you too.
You just say
And I
nice
kinda
to
bow.
meet you.
Rolls
Yeah,
his eyes.
and I kind of
forward.
bow. I literally like a Chinese bow. It's like I kind of bow and say, "It's nice to meet you too."
They do that as well, huh? Don't really know this custom, but very well then. So, two random strangers here. What can I help you today with?
Well, while I and in Undercommon, of course.
Yep.
While I have learned the common language of the Underdark, I have found that regrettably, my knowledge in other languages commonly used down here is somewhat lacking. I was wondering if you happen to have comprehend languages available.
Indeed, I do. Is this some kind of backhanded comment on me speaking just my native tongue?
As a scroll or as something you can inscribe into a wizard's spellbook?
Well, technically, he
inscribe
can
it
Tell
in.
him.
use a scroll to write it in.
Yeah, in Boom's head, I say, "Tell him you just would like the spell," and it's absolutely nothing to do with his accent.
That was more just a quip. It really didn't matter. But he does state, I do have speak the tongue spell. I also have speak with animals and speak with other things, but that's not what you asked, of course. He takes out a few things here and there, and he does say, now then, I do have it in a ring, and I do have it in a spell scroll.
Well, I'm planning to transcribe it for ongoing use. Generally prefer the knowledge as opposed to reliance on items.
Yes, of course. Then you would want the spell scroll. He puts the ring away, puts it in a box, and puts it to the side. He unfurls and he does state, now, this is written in uncommon, and of course, since you speak this, you can clearly read this. So it will take some time, but not impossible for a caster as yourself. Unfortunately, though, it does cost a bit of money, as language down here is very, very difficult to understand for those not from here. But you all seem to not have an issue, so for you and your friend here, I am more than willing to part with it for, say, 400 gold.
Ow. I think to myself.
You can always haggle, by the way.
What was that?
You can always haggle.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily sound like haggle territory, though. You know, let's see.
It's all mindset, my friend. $400
Well,
for this pathetic spell? You think me such a fool in the arcanic arts that I cannot discern a 200 gold spell?
Yeah, honestly, you got this.
Because just look at the level of the spell and multiply that by 100, and that's how much it should cost. So you can haggle at that. But my next question is
I think it shouldn't even be that high for a first level spell scroll.
The first level spell scroll should be like 100, maybe 200 gold.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Brainlink, Gothos over here. No, yeah, he's going high. You gotta go low. You gotta interpret his expertise as overtness and really leverage the fact that you're there with a guard that is empowered by Loth and that kind of intimidation thing. Anyway, I'm not trying to coach. You guys go do your thing.
Yeah, haggle. I'll help you. in Boom's mind. And what is the list of stuff you want anyway? Maybe you should start with your biggest, most important one first.
Well, if the lowest one is starting at 400, I don't think the other ones are even viable at all.
If you honestly
Yeah,
haggle
it's
and
starting.
uh, course correct him, he would likely give you the correct prices.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to be helping you here, so you'll be rolling at advantage with Bardic Inspiration. And yeah, start with your biggest ones first, the ones you want the most. And we'll haggle him down on those, and then we'll see if you can
You
get
just
your
need to
lesser
succeed
ones.
once, and he knows what's up. So he won't overcharge you with the rest.
What kind of roll?
Persuasion, unless you want to like intimidate him into doing this.
Yeah, I'll give you. I'm going to be helping him with all my babbling and give him Bardic Inspiration. The way I'm just sitting there wiggling back and forth and smiling and talking, trying to be cute.
That wouldn't work, but you can give the help action.
Yeah, the help action. Cute's probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Q won't help you here.
Yeah, no. Not in
I'm
the
being
sexual
cute,
fashion
like
of cute.
no. I get what you mean.
It's
Like
like,
when
oh, look, a
gangsters say,
kitten
like,
versus.
"Oh, you being."
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking the other. Like, "Oh, you
Oh, what were
being
you
cute
thinking?
to me." Are you trying to like play this up, brother? You being cute?
Yeah, you don't have to roll
No, I
play it. You
wasn't
can
getting
You're
just
at
roll
trying
that.
to
persuasion, by
puppy
the
eyes.
way. Boom.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
so
try
you can roll
puppy eyes
persuasion.
against the drow, they're gonna squash you.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. No. But yeah. Yeah, you got advantage with my help action, and then a D6 for your
Roll it up.
inspiration.
Huh?
And
Roll
I
it
do
up.
have
You can
some
also
extra
just,
cash.
leave this shop and go to another one.
This is the
And what's
medium shop. If we go
crafting on this?
cheaper, it's gonna be stuff that blows up in his face.
Again, there's a whole bunch of stores. You don't have to go to a cheap one.
Well, I see my undercommon must be quite flawed because
Boom, roll it up.
Yeah, roll it up.
I thought I was asking about something entirely different. And I'm just going to step outside.
Just walk away from the transaction.
Yeah, why not?
You didn't even roll persuasion.
If he doesn't
I
want to,
mean,
he doesn't have to.
Well,
That's a
he already
hard. That's
he
a hard
already rolled a
negotiation
pretty
move.
good persuasion, so
That's a hard negotiation move. I'm just gonna walk
Wait.
away.
Wait, who rolled a pretty good persuasion?
the shopkeeper guy.
He hasn't rolled anything.
Yeah, that's from before.
No,
None of
no,
that is
rolled a
current.
27. I rolled
Yeah, that's
something
me.
by accident.
Yeah,
Disregard
so no.
detect
he
magic.
Yeah.
rolled like an 80 to convince me that he's being such a blatant ripoff artist that I don't think I could negotiate in good faith.
Wait, what 80 are you talking
I
about?
don't know.
Oh, it's just he's metaing at that.
Okay,
one.
let's say you went car shopping and you're looking for, I don't know, a Honda Accord, and the dealer, says, yeah, I could let this thing go for about 200,000. It's like, yeah, no thanks. I'll go
Yeah.
find a Lamborghini instead.
That's for sure what he's doing, but again, you also know he's ripping you off. You can call him out on it if you want, or you can just leave, which you're more than welcome to leave.
That's how
I
I'm
think if
calling
you
him
call
out
him
on
out-
it. I'm just walking out.
I think if you call him out on it, he'll drop his prices.
That is honestly a very good thing to do. So you walk out on it,
it's a
and you can
private-
tell that this man's like going around the counter to like stop Boom, which he will do, but more on that later. In the meantime, Boom, when you walk out, you like more or less hone in on Echo to see like what's going on there. Also to give the guy time to like run out and go, wait, maybe we can work out a deal. But before that, you commune with Echo, and you can tell through his eyes.
Well, actually, before we get too far to that, I think Find Familiar only gives me 100-foot range for that.
I'm gonna say it
I
works
mean-
thematically.
I thought it was like
Yeah,
a mile.
He's giving you a bonus there, Dave.
Don't worry about rules. I'm going with thematics right now.
All right.
communing with your familiar, you can tell that they get to the wagon that they were heading towards. A very nice, prim, proper wagon with an emblem that you don't really understand, but with the map that you guys have been provided to, you do know that that type of emblem deals with the house of Bonre, Baenre. The madam that basically walked along with the man that currently has the backseat child in hand while they're like struggling trying to get away. The wagon is more or less pulled open. Well, it's a rickshaw caravan kind of thing. Doesn't matter. She does step inside
Palanquin.
and she does look towards the manservant with the child, and she does look towards him, and she does state, "Now then, he will become useful in the trying times. Make sure you have the collar prepared, the magical implements corrected, and make sure that my daughter has the modify memory spell ready and collected, as we don't want them to wander off and look for those that they've lost." The child then states, I'm scared. Where's my grandma? I don't know where I am." "Don't worry, child. All you need to do," as she like caresses his face cheek, "is to sleep." And because a child only has so much HP, with the sleep spell, the kid is just knocked out. Now then, if they do become problematic, feel free to correct that course. And if we do need to buy another, I suppose we can go for a far more aged one, but it's far easier to control them at a young stage. The man then states, "Very good, ma'am." She is pulled into the basically waiting wagon, closes the door, and begins to be rickshawed away. The man begins to like more or less put a collar on the kid, and magical symbols begin to inscribe on the collar itself. Nothing has happened just yet, but you can tell that something is up with that collar. As they're walking away, Echo does state in your mind, "Should I follow them, boss? We're going to get out of range soon, but up to you."
Yes, please. Just try to stay safe. I'll summon you back in a while to find out what's going on. I believe that we're going to have business there anyway, so any information you learn may help us regardless.
All right. After a while, they do dissipate. They don't, disappear. It's just you're out of range now.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make it back eventually. I will roll stealth for them. Let's hope they do well. I'll give them advantage because they know what they have to do. But in the meantime, the shopkeeper does come out and goes, "Oh, wait. We can work out a deal. After all, there are a few other stalls here, and I'd prefer you doing the business here. How's 200 gold sound? That's practically giving it away."
I'm sure you can find a better buyer than myself for that spell. And thank you anyway, and good day. And
I was going to
I'll-
say now would be the time to roll your persuasion to haggle him down to 100 gold.
not interested.
He shouts out some numbers while you walk away. The guard and Kobo do join you. "Very well then. If you want cheaper prices, I can find you an accommodating wizard."
No,
I
that's
say in
okay.
Boom's-
Thank you for your
I
help.
say in Boom's head, don't be so quick to discount all this stuff because we're trying to keep her away from the inn. And I might have used your help haggling with that guy to get myself a couple magic items.
Kobo, what's your passive perception?
13.
Boom, what's yours?
I don't know, 14, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are high enough. You can tell that while you're walking on the street away from this individual, someone is like using their hands to maybe grab at your clothing. Like not to rob you, but you can tell that instinctively this person is aiming for you. Specifically Kobo. You can like choose to use your reaction to like move and sidestep them away. You're more than welcome to, since you both notice this is happening.
Oh yes, definitely. Like, nope, 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 nope.
Yeah. You sidestep away, and you do see a young-ish looking woman, roughly 18 to maybe 16, but more along the lines of 20 to 18, truthfully. They just look quite young. Like, tries to grab onto you. They seem to be a halfling individual, like, trying to grab at your clothing. They are collared up, chained, with a price tag on their clothing, and she is more or less saying in common, help me, please, please. And then you can tell the person that's selling them off, like, grabs onto their chain and, like, reels them back. The guard does look towards the shop owner, and she does state, do keep in mind that people are trying to walk. Merchandise should not tarry where they do not need to tread. My apologies, ma'am. She's new here. Things are different. I do not care for your excuses. How much is she? Roughly around 50 gold. She is, not that plump, and also she is not very good right now. She tosses this man 50 gold, and with your wisdom save, Kobo, what are you doing?
It was a wisdom check because I'm gonna buy her immediately as soon as I saw she was a halfling in chains.
The guard already bought her.
Damn it, that was quick.
You bought.
This is unfortunately
Mentally to Kobo, you could try and negotiate a price for the slave, if for no
already
other
bought.
reason that
You bought.
what?
The slave was bought.
That
It was bought.
Just bought her.
She tossed the 50 gold.
And apparently there's no possibility to do like secondary sales,
She already gave the coin.
huh?
She tossed the coin towards him.
So it's illegal. So let me understand. It's illegal
Oh,
to
no,
sell
no,
used
I got
items
it,
in
I got it,
Enzo
Dave, I got it.
Branson.
I got it, Dave. I got it.
I don't know what you mean by that.
It's
No, I got it.
illegal
We can
for
handle this.
slaves.
I'm asking
to sell
Kobo to
themselves.
buy the slave from the guard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. That's why I said I got it. And, all right, so she tosses the bag of 50 to the guy just as I was reaching into my pocket, and so there was just like this half second, not quite there enough, and then I kind of look up at Yathalma and say, "As a guard, do you have reason for a slave?"
No. I just thought we would clear up something.
Well, being a halfling, she would serve me and my house very nicely.
I thought you were partnered with your allies,
I am.
and they allow servitude permanently
There are
up
servants.
there.
There are servants in noble houses where I come from.
Go ahead and roll deception. Because that's
I don't have
not
to roll
a
deception
lie,
because
but
there
you are
are-
not a nobleman.
No, but there are servants in noble houses where I come from. I never said I was a noble.
Yeah, that's true. Then she would state this. And you would be able to take care of this one after the infraction that she has caused upon you, after she has potentially destroyed and dismayed a political matter.
She was just grasping. I believe she can easily be taught to obey. She is, after all, a halfling, and that would suit around my people better than yours.
No, she's not a halfling.
Hey-
She
Hey,
is
Kobo,
a
I'm
thing.
hearing your head right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
she's not
Kobo.
a... Go!
Yeah,
All right.
she
Hey, Kobo, I'm hearing now. believe in restitution more than punishment.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. Well, you just spent 50 gold on this servant. What if I give you 64?
That is quite all right. There is no need to pay for what is about to happen. I do this as a kindness. And she does draw out her sword.
I'm ready.
Yep. She does draw out her sword. She grabs her by the scruff of her clothing near her neck, like draws her towards her face. This woman is pleading
With the
towards
sword
her
out?
with the sword out, like drawn out, but not towards her just yet. But you can tell that's happening. She drags this woman straight towards her face and goes, while she's pleading and screaming for her life. Now then, I understand where you're coming from. Not having any power, not having any desire to be indentured or enslaved. But you lost the gamble of life when you were captured. You then lost your life with this indecency. And
So-
I aim to clean
So-
it.
What?
So,
So?
So,
sell.
Oh, he's casting command.
Sell.
This is visual, so you don't need somatic or wiggly hands. But for sure, people can tell you're
I can
casting a
spend-
spell.
I can spend 1 sorcery point in subtle cast.
please do
I will do that.
that.
I will do that. Yes. I
Okay.
will spend 1 point and subtle cast, so nobody has any clue.
Unfortunately, she's a little wiser than most, but not so wise she can't lose.
Okay. Wait a second. Let me get up here. Spells. Her spell save DC is 18.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she does have advantage against spells or spell effects.
Damn it.
She only has a +4 though, so let's pray for the best. Wisdom save. Up, up. What's the number to beat?
18.
So she only needs to roll a 14, which is very hard to do with only a +4. Okay. And here's number 2.
Wait a second. I need to read this. It's an ability check, right?
It's a wisdom save.
Which is
React, which you take creature you can see within 60 feet of you, succeeds on an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw. Saving throw. Triggering roll a d20 and use the lower roll. She just means roll again, and she takes either the 22 or the next one.
no, the lower roll.
She would have to roll a d20 again and either choose from that roll or the 22.
Okay.
Then Gothos had to cover for everyone.
Okay. Still, though, I rolled a 14 before. I can do it again. Don't tempt me.
How dare you?
Well, you actually didn't roll 14. You rolled an 18.
That's
and a
not what
10.
I mean. Okay.
No, you rolled a 10 plus 4, which was the 14, and then the 18. Freaking 18.
Semantics, here we go. I love
What?
it.
She
11.
wants to sell her to me instead of killing her.
That's not what you said. You said sell.
I said sell. Yes, sell to me. Sell. I'm offering money right now. Sell it.
One word
Sell it to
command.
me
No.
right now.
Sell.
One word command,
Sell.
sell. It is not directed towards you. You said sell.
Yeah.
You
Now I have
basically
to talk to
say
her.
it, and she goes, looks towards this woman, ready to stab into her to probably murder her. And she like looks
Mhm.
towards her side. I want to see above 10. She'll look to the right, which is you guys. Below 10, she'll look to the left, which is maybe someone passing by. 2. There's someone passing by. A random person that has enough money that she can tell comes by and she looks towards them.
As soon as she looks and sees a random person passing by with money, I'm tapping her on the shoulder. Like, no.
The spell command
Me.
implores that it goes towards them. Like
It
she
just
is
implores
actively
a sell.
selling
I'm
towards
distracting.
him.
It just said sell.
She
so
does state,
I'm,
one moment. You there.
No. I just offered you
I
money.
Let's
offer
just
you
be-
this thing for merely a gold. I suggest you take it before it dies. And the man that's walking by just said, I'm just passing through. My master doesn't have need for a slave. It's either that or it dies. I'm sure your master can deal with one more servant. I suppose that's true.
I walk
It
up
is
and
a
I give him the
bargain.
gold.
He does look towards you and goes, I have money. And
I know you have money. That is fine. You can have all the money you want. I'm giving you the gold. You buy the slave. Then you sell the slave to me for 50.
No,
You win, right, sir?
don't tell me
You
what
can't
to
deny
do,
that. That's a good
outsider.
bonus for you, sir.
Remember that all drow think they're a lot better than you.
He tosses the coin towards your chest and out of spite
Yeah, I
buys
made
her.
a 10 on my wisdom save. I'm desperate.
Out of spite buys her. He then asks the merchant for a chain collar, which he provides for an additional amount, which he gives. And then she too, you saw this before, Boom. This is the same type of collar that glows afterwards, and he more or less states towards her after chained up. Once she has the collar on her, she more or less goes into a state of basically a zombie. And then
Sure.
he states towards her, follow. And then
I
they begin
stand
to
in-
head out.
I make my way to step in front of the guy.
Hey,
And
remember
hold
how
out-
I'm in your head, guys, and remember
Yeah.
how we're not supposed to interfere too much.
That's
I
true.
mean, I interfered a little bit. It didn't work out for us. So just
That's true.
sitting at the cafe, sipping my espresso.
The guard turns towards Kobo, and she does state, you were saying, and I don't
Yeah.
know if they are
She said,
aware
you
of
were
the spell.
saying. Oh, go ahead.
You speak
No,
one
they're not.
follow you
Sorry,
might
sorry.
into
Oh,
command
shut up.
and describe here. Determine this target behave. The target can follow your command spell approach. The target moves towards you or the shortest amount duration. Turn within 5 feet. The target drops wherever it's holding. Turn. Flee. Target turn away from crashing. The target falls prone and ends its turn. Halt. Target doesn't. The flying creature. Blah 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 blah. Move. Stay alive. Okay, it doesn't say that they are aware that spell's been cast, but that's fine. They do look towards you since you were tapping them on the shoulder. You were saying,
Yeah.
and the man does state, you are in the way.
I hold one finger up to our guard,
They
and I have,
Oh, God,
literally,
she's
I
not
am
gonna like
being
that.
rude. I hold one finger up to the guard, and with the gold that I already had that I offered her in my hand still, I hold it out to that guy and say, sell. Subtle casting with another sorcery point.
I want Boom to go ahead and roll perception.
I rolled a 10 on my
do I-
wisdom. I can't let her stay in slavery. I failed.
I didn't make you roll anything.
No, you didn't, but that's kind of my character. You notice how I roll whenever I'm going to be impulsive too? It's kind of a control for me.
A dogma said, "Give us one rule: don't interfere with the slavery thing." What do we do? Constantly interfere.
12
with the
isn't
slavery
that great, but you can see this.
If it's a fail, I'm fine with that.
It's not a fail completely. You can tell that out of the corner of your eye, you do see something crawling on the wall. You don't get a good glance of what it is, but you can tell that something is more or less around you.
I wonder if it's spiders.
You point towards this man and you do say, you
So,
Yeah, wisdom
And I'm already holding the
save.
gold out in front of him, so it looks like I'm just being very brief with a transaction because I'm subtle casting. Sell
I'm gonna
money.
distance myself from this slightly, and I guess I'll look
Mhm.
at whatever it is that I see crawling.
Yeah. You distance yourself towards away from this individual. This guy, thankfully enough, doesn't have advantage. He has a +2 too, so just needs to roll poorly. 5. While he begins to more or less finalize the transaction, as you like make your transaction, boom, you can tell that when you go around to see where this thing is, with your passive perception, you can determine that there is a spider like currently looking towards the direction of Kobo and this man. From what you can tell, this spider has been here for quite some time, roughly maybe the last hour. And with insight, go ahead and roll insight. I'll give you advantage because this is something you've already are aware of.
Not that I'm any good at that.
Apparently you
I
are
haven't
today.
cast any I haven't cast any real damaging spells, and
That is
casting
not the
spells
point of
seems
this
to be
roll.
commonplace, right?
There's still magic being cast.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's true.
17.
But the way you notice the spider looking towards the direction of the market, you can tell with the many eyes it has, it's also keeping an eye on you. But that is not the reason why I made you roll. By the time frame that it's been here, it's been keeping an eye on everything. And likely this is not the only one, as you do see at the corner of your eyes other spiders in the bazaar. This one has been here for like say an hour, and that's more than enough time to have watched over you and your team member. You can tell that they notice Kobo trying to sell or at least buy this individual from a guard, and then hush a guard and try to buy this woman again. Even if magic isn't a thing that's fully has been noticed, it is definitely something bizarre and highly offensive since he quite literally
know,
hushed a guard
How bizarre.
to do so.
I know, and I have a plan. I know, and I have a plan for that as well. But I got to get to it. We have to role play it
You
out. But
are
I have a plan
in
for that as well.
a good amount of danger. And you also know, based on these spiders, since you've seen one before, they communicate with the others in the network.
Mentally to Kobo, we're being watched, and we're probably in big trouble now.
Well, I do have kind of a plan for that. I just need to role play it out.
The man takes the coin and removes the collar. He begins to not cast something, but he was given a password to remove it, and
he doesn't
does so.
just hand me the chain?
It's not a chain. It's basically a command collar. You would need to buy one yourself. He's not selling that. He's selling the individual.
Okay. That's fine. That's okay.
More or less, after the collar is gone, she begins to plead and cry. And she is going to see if she rolls composure. And it's going to have to be a big roll.
I'm going to hold my finger up to my mouth to shush her and say, shh.
She's more or less paralyzed in fear.
You belong. Yeah, I say, shh, calm down. You belong to me now. Be quiet. And if she needs to roll something, I'm going to Bardic Inspiration her to roll it.
She rolled 16.
That's not creepy. That's not creepy at all.
It is creepy completely. The guard that you're still shushing does look down towards you and does state, "What exactly are you doing?"
I'm sorry. I don't quite understand. I thought I was an emissary of a foreign kingdom with the privilege of being an emissary from a foreign kingdom.
Oh, sweet holy God, Kobo, I'm in your head. That's
you knew very well that I wanted to buy this person, or this slave, but you turned around and sold it to somebody else instead. Did you do it out of spite? That's very rude of your kingdom to treat an emissary. I did not appreciate it.
Again, Kobo, they think they're better than us.
I understand that there might be differences in cultures. But in my culture, it was very rude to
don't
ignore mine and sell it to someone
understand.
else.
I am fine with you dealing with the situation at hand. I am even fine with you purchasing this woman as what your consort, whatever may have you. The problem is you have stopped me from doing my work. You are allowed to do
exactly
whatever your documents say, but not allowed to disrupt me and mine.
for the transgression that I did not understand. I
You were
apologize,
told.
but I did not interrupt your work because your work is not selling slaves. Your work is guarding. Ma'am, with all due respect.
I do with mine as I will, and then you go around that will.
I don't understand. You
Clearly.
mean guards here? You are a guard. Guards here.
She immediately just
have
dismisses
the
what you're
wherewithal?
saying, and she's casting something again. And you saw her cast this before. It is the Find Familiar spell, which means she's calling a spider. It takes like
Fucking shit. I guess.
half a minute. So whatever you intend to do, you can do it now. But the spider is coming.
It
Can
was to
Gothos
talk
hear
to her.
any of this? Can Gothos hear
It
all of
was
this
to
through the
it
brain
was to
link?
handle this diplomatically and inform her that she had offended me in my beliefs and
You don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you
and
tried
straight
to
up
do that?
told you.
apologizing to her for offending her beliefs and traditions. I was
No,
attempting to be diplomatic.
That
No.
did not.
that does not
was
fly
not
down
how
here.
it came off.
Yeah.
That's also not how that flies down here.
Basically, imagine a black person trying to say that to somebody in the 1950s in the Deep
Yeah.
South.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
That's
in the
why I
Ku
was-
Klux Klan,
And-
and we're not white.
Yeah, unfortunately. Good analysis. Sorry for anyone that's not American, but obviously you know how racist things were, and kind of still are.
Yeah. And that's why I played the diplomat and foreigner card.
That
Trying to
won't
say I
work
don't
here.
understand.
You
You-
played
What
the
you did was
ignorance
offend
card,
me.
but
You
A
offended me,
spider
I offended you.
comes
We
down.
obviously had a misunderstanding.
Clearly. The spider
And
comes
I
on her
would like
shoulder,
to
and
correct
she
that.
does state, send word that this individual and potentially others will be expelled from the city. I will allow one potentially to stay here as
Look,
good
my-
favor.
All right, I understand, ma'am. I screwed
She's not
up
talking to you,
and
she's talking to the
didn't
spider.
do your- Yeah,
She's
but I'm still
ignoring you.
talking. She could still hear. She could still hear me.
She can,
Even
yeah,
if
for
she's
sure
trying
she can
to
hear you,
ignore
but
me.
she's ignoring you.
I understand that I might have, but my diplomatic mission is
Spider
much
crawls
more
up
important
to
than
the
that. So just go ahead and expel me if that is the actual requirement here.
You are lucky it is not more. Soon after, boom, you can tell a few guards are heading your direction. Do you like bail or do you like see how this plays out? You're not part of this right now, but you can make yourself part of this or like stay back.
I don't see how I can make this any better, and I think trying to run is just going to make it worse. So I'm just going to go
You could just,
ahead
like,
and
fade into the background.
Do you
yeah,
have a charmed person or something to help out here? Come on, man.
I do
I've
not.
got command.
Dig
No,
the hole
I'm-
deeper? No.
I don't have anything useful that I mean. I've got stuff that can let me fight. I've got stuff that can help me bail out of here. I don't have anything that can smooth the situation over.
All right,
Um,
I'm going to attempt one more thing, which is probably stupid. But then again, I
Probably.
did roll. I'm impulsive.
Guards are
I was
on the
gonna
way,
save
but they
this
have yet
slave.
to get there. So you have like an action.
Okay. I'm going to cast command again, and I'm just going to say, listen.
mentally to Kobo, are you able to turn invisible?
I am. I can also
Huh?
poof away.
Do
I
that.
am. I can also poof away. Or I can
Okay.
turn into a giant dragon and bite her head off.
That's a good choice. You should do that.
Bring
She
more
failed,
attention
so
to
she's
yourself.
listening.
I understand. My diplomatic mission is very important. I offended you, and I didn't understand the rules of this place. But you also offended me from the rules that I come from, and that's what I'm used to.
Kobo,
My
that's
whole
the
The
wrong.
guards come in at this point.
my
Continue
whole
on. What are you saying?
place, my entire company should not be jeopardized for the transgression that I have obviously made, that I truly did not mean to make, and I apologize.
The guards come in.
Please. Yeah, they come in. They're pointing their weapons at me, and she's still listening, and she's still in command of these guards. But will you please not punish them if I have transgressed you? I apologize.
Yeah. Spell ends, and she listened to all that, and she does stay towards you. They did not offend. They did not disrupt. You alone should face these consequences. But if others decide to continue on with these same patterns, then they will meet the same fate. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. I only ask that you, in more detail, explain to them what they are.
Enough.
So they do not make the same mistakes I do.
She looks towards the guards. Escort me and this one to... She then states the name of the inn. So we may discuss things further. She looks then towards Boom. You may accompany us, as you have yet to cause an infraction.
During this time, Gothos is mind linked to everyone, so he hears what they're saying, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
So
Gothos, Bract, and
I
Toulouse all
very-
hear
Kind of
this.
going like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. But
I
also,
very subtly.
he would kind of go
I-
onto the street and be like, please, for the love of God, let them contact us before they get back here.
Yeah,
they're
which
not getting back here. I'm getting taken away. Boom will get back to you.
No,
But
they just
as-
said they're bringing you back here.
Oh,
Yeah.
they did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're notifying the party that you'll be expelled from the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am me, but you guys
Yeah.
aren't. Anyway,
Gothos is just
I take
waiting,
the hand.
just desperately waiting to be contacted by the,
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
the darkness
mentally-
speak you group.
Mentally, to everybody on the way back, Kobo's getting banished. We're on our way back. So far, I haven't offended anybody. Trying really hard not to make the situation worse. We're probably going to be showing up very shortly.
Yeah.
As we're walking, I grab the hand
They
of
expect us
Myers.
all to be there, I'm sure.
She is also
As
being
we're
pushed
yeah.
with you
Yeah.
guys. You bought her.
As,
She's yours.
as we're walking,
Yeah.
as we're walking, I grab the hand of my slave with my left hand, and in my right hand, I reach into my pocket, and I pull out a sack, and I place it in Boom's hand, and say mentally to Boom, I say, "Go get your spells. I'll be out for the moment."
You are surrounded by guards. Do you do that?
Yes,
Sleight of hand.
I mentally.
Yeah,
mentally
but you
talk to
handed
Boom.
something.
You were
You didn't
handing
mentally
something.
give me the
Literally
money.
hand him a bag of. Yeah,
Yes, hold a hand.
no, I just hand him the money. And if they ask, it's because I'm giving my partners my money because they are still going to be in the city.
I am not making the slightest gesture towards this fact. I'm going to go ahead and step away if anything is presented towards me.
Yeah. You step to the side, and the guards do look towards Kobo, and they do state,
I say out loud, "It's just money. You might need it while you're here."
"Don't make anything
It's
worse,
just bribery."
sir."
No.
Okay. No, I'm not bribing anybody. It's him. Boom.
Yeah, I get it, but they
No.
straight up just
I'm
say,
not
"Don't make
making
anything worse."
I'm just going along.
They are willing to kill you.
No, sir.
Don't get me
it's
wrong.
just money. I'm giving it to my. Yeah, I know. I say, "No, sir. I'm not making anything worse. I'm just giving you money because they might need it in the city, and I obviously don't."
Right.
Mentally to Kobo, I have plenty of money. I could have afforded that rip-off spell. That's not where my problem was with it.
Fudge, I saw I rolled so low.
Your life is more valuable than a bag of coin.
You
Oh,
guys
don't worry, these people won't
make it to the inn with Bract, Toulouse, Gothos, Antidote, Slash, and the rest of the gang. Boom, you can be like on tail as well. They're not, arresting you or throwing you out. They more or less ask if you're accompanying them. You don't have
Well,
to, but at the
with-
exact same time, you don't have the paperwork.
right. Well, and I think Kobo dropped.
Oh no.
Hobo
There
didn't
we
have.
go.
Who had the
Anyway,
paperwork?
Hello?
Come on.
What I missed? Sorry.
I actually paused because you dropped, so you didn't miss anything.
You're back at the inn, and I asked Boom, what's he doing?
Yeah, I basically followed along with them. Basically, if they explicitly provided their permission, I'll thank them for that, and then follow along, just basically trying to be extra compliant.
You join them, and more or less, the guard does requisition the innkeeper to summon forth the group.
As we get there, guards behind me. First glance I get at either Gothos, Toulouse, or Barakt. I just smile, wave, and say hi, with all these guards behind me.
Yeah. You guys enter inside without too much of an issue, and the guard that was friendly with you guys for as much as friendly can be does
That was
state
not friendly at all.
Yeah. It's drow friendliness.
it's drow friendly.
I know. I'm just joking here.
She does look towards the team, and she does state.
Which means a bunch of poison daggers right near Kobo's neck.
I don't see the problem.
That's friendly because you're not dead yet.
Weapons raised,
Yeah.
ready against Kobo, but not fully, stabbing him. She does state towards the gang. It seems that transgressions have fallen upon your friend here, as deemed right by mine, and Loth, as the first transgression, they will be expelled out from the city. I am letting you all know as a courtesy to your mission.
Might I, although I'm not quite
I turn to
surprised
her
at
and
this
say-
outcome.
I turn to the guard lady and say, "That's not a very good explanation.
I don't
You
care.
should tell them what doesn't get them in trouble."
Kobo, real quick, just stop talking. Might I inquire as
Kobo?
to the trans?
Gobo,
Impulsive.
we already see the noose around your neck. You don't
Yes, I
want
know.
them to tighten the rope.
I understand, but the impulsive. I'm playing the character, but I do understand that this isn't the greatest.
On the other side of the
I
street,
just
you
would
do
like
see
to
a
make
new
an
seller.
inside check to see if Kobo understands what the fuck is going on.
I don't think you need to make a roll, but go for it.
Okay.
Kobo's no fucking idea. But Gothos
Yeah.
will say,
Uh,
might I
Sometimes I
inquire
need to
as to the
double-check.
nature of these transgressions? I was just sitting here obeying the laws of your city, waiting for my contacts. Please explain to me the nature of the transgression of my subordinate, that I might understand how I have failed the rules of this city.
simple enough. He decided on his own terms to circumvent my authority.
A foolish endeavor, to be sure. What is exactly the nature of this transgression?
In Gothos's mind, he can hear Kobo say, "I saved a halfling's life."
Yeah, I know. I was there. I could hear you. I'm doing a thing.
I know.
Undermining my choices, and then going around them, and then stopping my authority with his little finger.
I'm sorry. I don't understand. He stopped you with his little finger?
You don't
So
need
you're
to know
saying
the
is that he
details.
little fingered you. Like,
If you guys don't want me
like
to
this
get expelled,
pointing
you
the
might be
pinky
able
at
to.
him.
If that is how you describe it in common, then sure. Not understanding the nuances of what you mean.
Mentally to
We're
Gothos,
talking in undercommon now.
mentally to Gothos, whatever Kobo did to get that slave shouldn't have worked. The fact that it did, I think, means they know something's up, and we were being watched.
Yeah.
If you guys really don't want me to get expelled, you might play up the fact that I'm an emissary for a long line of dragons.
It's not gonna work.
Not gonna work. In fact, it might make it worse.
Well, uh,
Mhm.
question:
Oh wait,
the
I should stop doing
the
this. I
guard
should have
is
stopped giving you hints.
question: the guard that has been heckling Kobo, is it a guy or a gal? Just double checking.
The one speaking with him right now, the one that got mad at Kobo, girl.
Ah, ma'am.
Yes.
All I want to say is, we do not support the actions that our former associate has been making without our knowledge or so.
Good job. Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yes, I am distancing us from you. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And you kind of need to do that. I know I'm getting kicked out.
Do not fret. We do not aim to kill him. But if he wanders inside the city again, if he is found by security, he will be put to death.
Okay.
Just making
I
sure
just
you all know where to meet up after your ordeal is done.
I think
yes,
we all
outside of the
understand
city,
that.
I guess.
We understand how you must escort our truly misinformed comrade, former our comrade. Shoot, I can't be eloquent.
Yeah, you can.
We
Former comrade.
understand. We understand how you have to escort this person of our. What do you call it when a bunch of people like follow the king? I know I'm not the king, but it's like the entourage. That's it.
Yeah, entourage.
We understand how you might have to, how you definitely have to escort this member of entourage outside of the city walls because they clearly have misunderstood the laws of Mensa Branson.
Tell
We
them I'll
hope
be
that this.
reprimanded by you later. Something like that.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, just very
Well,
clearly, they will have
actually,
to make their own way in the Underdark, which I think is a very clear and obvious punishment into itself. They will have no support from us.
Do not worry.
Uh,
They bought a slave here. I'm sure your dwarven ally, King, is more than willing to accept such a corrupt individual.
oh,
oh.
well, in that case, I think the slave is under my or our not protection, but under our household umbrella of servitude. You understand, it's clearly a breach. Clearly, this servant procured this new slave with our funds.
In Gothos's head, I can say, if I take her out of the city with me, I can get her to safety sooner.
Or potentially she could die.
No, I'll get her to safety sooner.
Or potentially she
Still
could
have
die.
what's his
Inside the
name?
head, we don't know what she knows. She's an asset at this point. Sorry, Kobo. She might know something
Well,
that we might need.
Gothos, go ahead
Mentally
and
inside the
roll.
city is our wizard. What's his name? We can take her back to the Vengeance Tower.
Maybe. Boom. What were we
Mentally,
saying?
to everybody, remember, if we fail this mission, all these lives are forfeit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the slaves are dead if we don't do this.
Yeah. Gothos, go ahead and roll persuasion.
I
can do
was
that.
helping in the endeavor, so
Yes,
am
you
I
are.
helping him?
Yes, you are.
Also, Dogma,
Both,
I would like to use my magic awareness to see if there is something hinky going on.
Yeah. Go for it.
Face down.
First, go ahead and roll persuasion. You have an advantage to roll again, and we're taking the 19. Spend awareness to presence concerning magic until the end turn. You know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover. You sense roughly 15 spiders all around you, like more or less probably keeping an eye on you. Toulouse obviously can't see them.
Yeah. To lose, I put on sunglasses when I look in her direction. Yes.
Yes.
It's more like do I sense anything like telepathy or
You sense a
detect thoughts or
mental
something in
link
that direction?
throughout all those spiders as well as the drow individuals together. If you had to guess, these spiders are also familiars for these guards. And likely all of them together are mentally connecting with each other momentarily. Not forever, but as long as they're here. You can
Although
also...
I think we can condemn the foolish actions of a retainer. He used funds from our party to
Yeah.
procure this slave, and it would be ridiculous, I think, to expel them. This is our slave now.
And Brack, you can also
Um,
tell that the current guard that is speaking with you, she has some magical residue left over from a couple of spells that were cast on her. You don't know enough because it didn't stick that long, but you know that spells were cast on her.
So
this is
I
to the.
I
I'm sorry.
I
Go ahead.
I'm gonna take a step forward and I am gonna look at Gobo and I'm gonna look at the guard. Does it have the normal Kobo spiel on it?
It does have his magical stank.
I'm gonna put my finger to Kobo's chest. Did you use magic on that guard?
I wanted the slave. She sold it to somebody else to spite me. That was an offense.
You use magic on one of the people that is trying to keep us safe in this city?
I'm sorry.
I don't think you are.
Do
Actually,
you
to
old
even
is
the
that?
understand the repercussions that may have had for the entirety of our endeavor in this current moment in time?
I put my head down in shame, and actually, to the DM, I did cast listen on her, and she did fail it. Don't I get a persuasion roll for the pleading apology I made?
No,
Or
she
is
just
that
listens.
gone? Okay.
That's basically what the spell does. You basically command her to do that thing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen,
If
it
you
doesn't mean
listen
she
to
has to
somebody,
agree
you
with
know,
you.
no,
I mean,
she
it's a
doesn't.
chance.
But I was wondering if I got a persuasion roll. Just a roll.
No, these people are horrific
I didn't know.
slavers. They're the worst people you can imagine.
I
And then
know.
it's
I
like,
was
I'm
gonna
gonna
come back and
appeal
just
to your
start chugging
goodness. It's
alcohol.
like, no.
She's more concerned with herself rather than assisting you, even if your plea is, one of a righteous cause. It's more like, no, you did this. You're done. But I will also
You burned
state
that
that,
bridge.
Bract, you are honestly correct on the matter at hand. Thinking on this, you can tell that, right, by the way she spoke with her familiar the first time, she spoke about something about the weave or connection, which means that these spiders, all 15 of them, are around here. But that doesn't mean that those are the only spiders that are now fully aware of you, of how you look like, what's going on currently, and, well, you've made yourselves well known now, whether you wanted to or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
also means that the people looking for you might be able to find you faster.
Yeah.
And
But
yeah, I put my
also-
head down, and Barack, please, go ahead and berate me.
The guard.
That's in your head, not out loud.
Yeah. The
Sorry,
guard
dude.
does state towards Gothos, though, while maybe you're getting berated in the background. Fair enough. As someone that is supposed to be their de facto leader, I will have this one in your care. I do suggest you get a compliancy collar on her as soon as possible. That being the case, though...
Might you recommend, Oh, real quick. Kobo, before you get banished, where is the blacksmith that has my armor?
You tell him where they is.
Yeah.
You give him the receipt.
Does that
Yeah.
noble
by the way-
guard, does that blacksmith deal in those sort of collars?
Yeah.
He does.
Well, then we have business with them soon.
I'm sure you do. That being the case, though, I suggest you either pick it up when it is ready, get your supplies, and stay in the inn until your time of meeting is at hand. I and a few other guards will be positioned around the inn, just in case, for security reasons, of course.
Kind of
In
like
case we want
clenched
to leave
jaws.
and do something
That
stupid,
seems,
yes.
yeah, that seems reasonable. Just kind of looking at
Yeah.
Kobo.
First, we must expel your comrade, whatever he is now. Someone so trite and non-compliant. I suggest you find someone better the next time. One that can understand the common tongue rather than emotion.
I'm
I
sure
vehemently
that
agree.
banishment from the city is a sufficient punishment. It's rare that an individual can survive that isolation.
Yeah.
I'm
Also,
sure you wouldn't trust us with that situation, so I'm sure you can escort Kobo
of
to
course.
the.
She does look to two guards and she does state, "Position here until I return." And then she looks towards Kobo, potentially, getting chastised by Bract. Now then, unless you want to make things worse, I suggest you march. And her
Have a
and
brain.
4 other guards are like marching Kobo to the gate.
Okay.
And then we're gonna brain talk to Kobo and be like, "All right, buddy, you're on your own here, but I think you're capable of sneaking back in."
Oh yeah, I am
Um,
capable of sneaking back in, and I have an idea, but I'm
but
gonna
you
ask your
understand that we
permission because
really,
I
at this
really want to
point,
do it.
we
I
really can't help you out. We still gotta make contact.
Yeah,
oh, that's
Kobo,
not a problem.
if you sneak back and try to make any attempt
Any
to make
problems?
contact with us,
I
this is
understand.
just gonna create more and more and more problems. To the point
I
that maybe Brock will be just throwing you to the guards.
I understand. I'm sorry if I made problems for you guys, but I couldn't help. Halfling slave, honestly.
Yeah, we
You
Oh,
guys,
got.
oh, Kobo,
eh,
I would have done the same. Don't get me wrong.
Boom almost did. Still being followed.
Yeah, but
I
Boom is
have
a
Wait,
lot
sorry,
an
I missed
smarter.
idea,
something.
but
What was that?
Boom almost did.
I,
Still following
Almost
Echo.
did what?
Like, help out an indentured servant. Like, you're still following the kid. That's still happening.
Yeah.
Well, Echo is.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Boom's just taking longer to help the slave that he wants to help. But guys,
There's
I
no
really want
guarantee I'm gonna help this kid.
Yeah.
I know,
Which one,
but
the
still,
Tabaxi or the Halfling?
the Tabaxi child. I've already helped the halfling.
Yeah,
See, I
Yeah.
mean, what I haven't been saying out loud is that Boom's been kind of like basically just running through flashbacks of his head of all the city occupations he's been involved in, the time he was caught prisoner, the brutality he's seen from enemy armies, marauding through cities. He's probably Gothos is the only other one in the group necessarily who's probably seen it to that degree, but just that whole understanding that it can be infuriating, but sometimes there really is nothing you can do, no matter how much you want to do it. And
Kobo
throwing your
doesn't
life away
understand
for
that
the
yet.
yeah, throwing your
And
life away for the small picture when the big one can be, far more significant. But yeah, it's a very difficult decision. But this is just, I mean, I'm not trying to convince you or anything. This is just like,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
this is what's going
yeah,
through Boom's head this whole time.
Yeah.
And it's part of why he's been shutting up during that whole thing with the halfling kid.
Mm.
yeah, and I did roll a 10 on my wisdom save, so I went impetuous and I went reactionary, and
Yeah.
I had to help that kid. I
You.
realize that's not an excuse, and it's not, but that's
Yeah.
Kobo. He is impetuous and he is reactionary, and he doesn't always think of the consequences.
Mm-mm.
But he is thinking of consequences now, especially after his berating from Barakt.
Yeah.
And he's saying, in the minds of everybody else they're listening, I
Yeah.
have an idea. I want to do it.
You.
But if you tell me not to, I won't.
You're almost
You
towards the
hear
gate.
Brack mentally facepalm.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's
Whatever you
that's
are
what I'm getting at.
doing, please distance yourself from us first.
Well, my idea is once I get to the gate, I get to turn to the lady, give her my last words, and then thunder step out of there, blasting her face.
Yeah. If okay.
That might feel good, but
It
also
will feel good.
Yeah, it will feel good, and that's where it starts and ends, I guess.
Okay, if you guys tell me not to, I won't, but I really want to.
You can do whatever you
No,
want.
yeah.
It is
Kobo.
just next
Kobo,
time
you
any
said your
drow
passive
will
was
see you,
13,
will
right?
kill you.
My passive, yeah, it's 13.
Okay.
So does Kobo say that out loud mentally?
Probably in your head.
The plan?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm telepathically communicating quietly. I'm not saying a word as we're getting to the edge of the city. But once I get to the gates, I can turn to the lady and I can say, it's been nice. I'm sorry things didn't work out. We have a difference of cultures, but you're a real bitch. And then
If
kaboom!
No, that
if
does
you
not.
do
That
that,
does not
not
further the
only will
cause.
you be marked for death, but at that point, we may be considered potential enemy combatants just by association.
No,
Stealth,
no.
Kobo. Come back in
I
as your
won't do
little
that.
Kelso,
I
giant
won't
just
do that
dragon.
then.
no,
I don't
just
want to I don't want to endanger you
just do it.
guys, so I will allow. I will follow your orders.
Just do
No,
it.
I really
That'd
want
be
to.
fun.
No, Gobo, just do it. I don't mind. Just do it. We will handle the repercussions. And if that means
Do
that
that if
Kobo
you're
will
gonna do
die
it.
in the very short near future, I'm okay with that.
But if you're like
Okay.
asking our
We
characters
already
whether or
distanced
not you
ourselves
should
from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking your characters, and this is what Barak is telling me, but we still have Boom and Gothos and Toulouse to talk to me too, because I'm
Yeah.
No, here.
communicating with all of you.
If we're
Toulouse
asking
might
our
not be able to speak. It's
characters,
very late for them.
we'll-
Well, technically, it's very late for most of us, or very early.
No,
But if
it's
you're
10
asking our
p.m.
characters if you think you should nuke the friggin'
No, just that lady. I don't like her.
yeah, no. Yeah, of course you don't like her. She employs rules against you.
Yeah. Damn
He
it.
employs
I
rules.
I
I'm
don't
a
think we're
impetuous
distanced enough.
16-year-old angsty kid who doesn't consider more than 2 inches in front of his nose. Of course.
Yeah, but if
That's
you're
why
asking
I
our
am
characters what
actually.
you should do, we're like,
Yeah.
no, just fucking fade into the distance and then fly back as a fucking dragon.
Okay, at this point,
Yeah.
it's been
I
enough
can do
time that you are at the gate now. You've
Mhm.
made more or less your peace. It's entirely up to you what you
Okay.
decide to do, but you know what they told you. More or less, you are escorted out, and she looks towards the 2 guards that let you in. The not telepathic, but the one that can tell if you're lying or not, and the other guy that's doing questionings. Before she even speaks with you, she looks towards them, and she does go towards the truth speaker, and she does state, "You allowed these 2 in, did you not?" They do not. Yes, ma'am.
No, it's just
No
me. There's
lies
no
were
these two.
spoken.
Very well then. And he does state, yes, ma'am, no lies were spoken when they entered inside. Very well then. She takes out a ceremonial dagger that's very obsidian black with deadly, deadly curves, and she stabs them straight up in the heart. So much
Yeah.
so that he doesn't have a response to do anything. She then says something in Infernal, and if you speak it, you understand it. If you don't, you don't.
I do.
Do we still have brain link with
I can
him?
actually write Infernal because I can
No.
I can speak Common, Draconic, Halfling, Infernal, Undercommon, and Primordial, but I can actually read Infernal, Undercommon, and Common.
Yeah, Relton, you and your study
time.
time. She is casting a spell that will basically cook his insides from the inside out. But afterwards, casting the spell, she does state, "Thank you for your service. However, we decided to replace you with someone far more talented." She then rips the blade out, causing a good amount of his insides to also be ripped out, and he falls onto the ground dead.
During this time, can we as a group be like, let's find the fucking person who's trying to give us the code word? Oh, please.
Within a few seconds, another person does come in, and she does state towards them, "Now then, hopefully your mind-reading gifts will suffice in this endeavor. Otherwise, she looks down to the dead body. You'll be faced with the same task in your afterlife. Yes, ma'am.
I interrupt.
Someone else drags the body away,
Oh,
and she
God.
looks towards you when you interrupt.
I interrupt.
Someone's gonna get
I
stabbed.
say, you know, ma'am?
You may
Ma'am,
go.
right? You know, ma'am?
Start
He
walking.
was telling the truth. He was.
I don't
was-
care.
Listen.
Stabbed.
10 more seconds within this parameter, and I will have no choice but to attack you. Me
I said,
and
listen.
the rest.
I cast listen.
Oh, you're casting command. Okay.
Subtle
You
cast it.
cast command.
I listen. Yeah, command.
Do you really want to do this?
Listen. Well, no, I'm already outside the city. I'm already banished. Listen.
That's-
Actually, no, I'm not going to cast a spell. I'm just going to say it. I know she's ignoring me, but she's going to hear my words whether she wants to or not.
She's counting from
is-
down from 10, but go for it.
He did tell the truth, and I did come here under good faith. You, however, are a complete bitch, and I will poof boots away.
Immediately,
Under the 10 seconds.
with your spell, I think it's your boots, correct?
Yeah, I'm not casting the command spell. I just said that, and she was counting 10 seconds down, and I was under 10 seconds as I poofed away.
Okay. Which direction did you think you were going?
Away from the
Away
gates,
from
far
the
away
gate?
from the gates. Yeah, I'm leaving. I went away from the gates. I poof boofed away from the gates, but I got to tell her she was a bitch at least.
Yeah.
Because that guy was telling the truth, and he didn't need to die.
You poof
though
boops
he's
away
a
from the
drow,
boots.
doesn't matter. And I keep going because I'm banished.
Yeah, and
I can tell her I didn't cast a spell on her, so I didn't create another infraction. But I
that's
did get to tell her she's a bitch.
yeah, you just don't understand or
Poofed.
know what happens next. But you poof away, and eventually the guard that is speaking with your team, Bract and the rest, comes over, and she does state, your teammate was hiding far more than he was letting on.
That's not true.
I
Nobody
suggest
said I
you
wasn't a
don't
magic user.
do anything out of the ordinary
Deceitful
yourselves.
little kobold. I always had a wonder about him.
Right. At any rate, we will be keeping an eye on you. And at any moment in time we see something out of the ordinary, or if your friend returns, whether or not you've distanced yourself, he has already shown his hand. So do not show yours. Understood?
No, yeah, we definitely
Will
just
do.
we're 100% gonna stick to the strictures of our papers here.
Right.
Definitely, that's what's gonna happen.
And tomorrow I will kindly lead you to your destination point. I do hope you enjoy your stay here.
Destination point.
Yes, the place you'll be meeting your associate, as you mentioned when we first spoke.
Rack double blinks. Says nothing.
Well,
Most
then,
assuredly.
it's been a long day. I do suggest you get your rest. And I do look forward to helping you tomorrow. She gives with a fake smile. The fakest smile you've ever seen.
Rack does give a very fake smile back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
same with both those. That hideous needle-toothed smile.
Yeah. Well, probably Gothos does that. Kobo's gone. Kobo, you head over towards
You
where
did this to me.
Verizian is at, and the rest more or less sleep. What'll happen next time? Well, everyone's on high alert now. There's no going back from that. But we'll
Yeah.
see if you guys can still do what you intend to do. And hopefully, you can survive. But we'll figure that one out next time, as we end the
Pro
session
tip.
for today.
Yeah.
Right.